Picture this. A top-tier commander leading a squad of demon hunters. A total legend respected by his crew and absolutely dreaded by his enemies. But then, stabbed in the back by the very people he swore to protect. He and his entire squad are sentenced to be wiped off the map. Yet, right at the final second, the exact same demon they were fighting drops an insane deal on the table. A second chance at existence. The ultimate question hits. Will he take the offer? And can he actually rewrite the tragic fate of his squad? Let's dive into Alexis's story. We kick things off in a world completely run by magic, where its wild energy spawned these absolute nightmare zones known as demon lairs. At the exact same time, humanity got its own counterbuff. The Awakened stepped up humans flexing some seriously overpowered abilities. Front and center is our main guy Alexis. He's running the Celestial Legion, literally the most busted heavy-hitting squad on the planet. Right now, he's standing deep inside the dungeon of the Demon King Belphegor, a massive triple S rank threat. This raid officially marks his 10th year, calling the shots as their captain. Without missing a beat, he gives the green light to move in. Their job, clearing out these demonic zones for the higher-ups. And get this is their 100th dungeon clear. Scanning his crew, we've got Katiuska, a crazy fast earth ninja. She dives headfirst into the monster swarm with zero hesitation. Backing her up is Ronald, a cloud mage, and Lucien, their stellar-class support player. Everyone is just spamming their ultimates against the Horde, while Alexis flexing his title as the nuclear saint orchestrates the entire bloodbath. Moving perfectly in sync, the team absolutely stomps Demon King Belphegor. It's such a breeze that even Ronald is caught off guard. He groans, complaining that they didn't even get a chance to warm up. Katiuska just smirks, teasing him that she'll hunt down something way more intense next time. Meanwhile, Lucian walks over to our hero and asks if bringing their elite max-level squad was actually necessary for a boss fight this pathetic. Alexis stays totally chill. He wipes his blade clean and points out the intel claimed Belphegor packed 5 elements and a hidden skill. Better safe than sorry. The curvy Katiuska shifts the mood, nudging him with a reminder that they're officially on vacation mode now. She drops a heavy hint about him buying her dinner, but the commander immediately shuts the flirting down. He suggests the whole crew just grab a bite at their usual hangout back in the sacred capital. But then, the vibe shifts. The captain freezes. He glances back. He realizes one guy completely ghosted the boss fight. Lucien backs him up, saying the dude volunteered to handle the aftermath purification, even though he literally didn't lift a finger in combat. Katiuska waves it off, just roasting him for always being the slowest tag-along in their party. The camera pans. The guy strolls up, raises a hand, and snaps his fingers. He starts tracing glowing circles in the air, pretending to kick off the purification ritual. Out of nowhere, bam! He blasts Ronald straight in the head, sending him instantly to the afterlife right in front of the whole squad, face totally deadpan. He casually drops the bomb. This was the actual mission they were sent here for. Alexis tries to lunge, but his body is completely paralyzed. In a flash of dread, it clicks. He's been secretly dosed with a nerve toxin for a solid month. Suddenly, massive roots violently erupt from the floor, snapping around the crew and pinning them down. It's the traitor's celestial binding skill. With absolute ice in his veins, the snake admits, and he had to play dirty because the commander was simply too overpowered to fight fairly. Katiuska and Alexis completely shook scream at him, asking if he's totally lost his mind. He just shrugs. Order straight from the Sovereign, the purification protocol. It was always meant for them. The roots viciously tighten, yet crushing the team right in front of Alexis's eyes. Before pulling the final plug, the traitor smirks, revealing their only purpose was to be permanently deleted. In a heartbeat, the roots mercilessly squeeze the squad until they take their final breath. Completely shattered, our protagonist screams for answers. He demands to know why. What massive crime did they commit? Who signed their death warrants? The guy just leans in close and whispers that when a sovereign decides to erase someone, they don't need to explain themselves. A split second later, he shoves his entire arm straight through the captain's chest. Coughing up blood, Alexis flashes back to all their shared years. He chokes out words about brotherhood, about being a family. But the traitor just laughs, shattering the illusion. He confesses that this was a master setup from day one. He infiltrated the team on the Sovereign's orders, farmed their trust, and faked every single smile. Honestly, he admits he's totally exhausted from putting on such a fake act. Without another word, he points a single finger and blasts a beam of dark energy, putting a brutal end to the commander once and for all. And just like that, in May of the year 2105, the legendary Celestial Legion is wiped from history, covered up as just another successful dungeon clear. The backstabber casually strolls out of the cave, zero guilt, totally hyped. His only thought, finally enjoying his paid time off. We cut to the aftermath. The commander's broken body lies motionless on the cold stone until everything fades into absolute pitch black. Out of the void, a voice echoes, offering him a deal. Disoriented, he realizes his wrists are locked in heavy chains. Having zero clue where he respawned, he stumbles through the heavy shadows, until his eyes catch a massive silhouette glowing with an intense pitch-black aura. It's Belphegor, the Demon King. Chuckling darkly, the boss tells him he wouldn't let him fade out that easily. He explains they're currently stuck in the Nay realm, a spectral dimension that's keeping his consciousness intact. Cutting straight to the chase, the demon lays out a wild proposition and finally reveals his ultimate hidden skill. Turning back the clock means completely rewriting his entire destiny. Our guy flashes back to his fallen squad and that gut-wrenching betrayal. now practically vibrating with pure rage. He swears to absolutely obliterate that backstabber and the top-tier elites who think they are untouchable gods. Belphegor flashes a wicked smirk, totally vibing with this dark energy, and doesn't just hand over a do-over. He drops a bonus perk to seal their pact. When our reborn hero demands to know what this is going to cost him, the demon stays dead silent, just keeping that creepy grin locked in. Pitch black swallows him whole once again. But this time, a sharp voice shatters the silence. "Alexis, wake the hell up!" His eyes snap open, and he is suddenly sitting in a blindingly bright classroom where his old high school teacher is barking at him to get on his feet. Mind completely blown, he wildly scans the room. He actually jumped back 10 entire years, hitting him like a freight train. He realizes he is sitting right here in Yang Province. Deep inside the Holy Nation's Awakened Academy, literally moments before his original awakening. Staring in total disbelief, it finally clicks. He really made it back to the past. Miss Huan glares at him, absolutely having none of it. Her sharp voice cuts through the quiet room. "Listen here, punk. Falling asleep in my lecture is already crossing the line. But you chose to pass out today of all days. This isn't just some random Tuesday. Today is Awakening Day." She points straight to the back wall, ordering him to go stand in the corner and seriously rethink his life choices. Dragging himself up, he checks out his younger hands, desperately trying to figure out how this time slip actually worked, and if it is heavily tied to Belphegor's shadow skill. Shuffling toward the back of the room, he suddenly locks eyes with a dude he hasn't seen in ages. Once he settles in, Miss Huan dives right back into her lecture without missing a single beat. She drills it into their heads. The world runs on 5 absolute power elements: lightning, flower, cloud, core, and star. Every single person gets to master just one. And spoiler alert, she is an insanely overpowered cloud user herself. She breaks down the meta next, explaining how elements sync with the human body across 3 main paths: combat, utility, and special. Mix those 5 elements with these 3 branches and you get an endless variety of classes. She name drops the school's absolute top-tier squad as proof: a star mage, a cloud warrior, a core mage, and a lightning ninja. She drops a reality check. Just waking up puts them in the top 1% globally, but today is still the ultimate make-or-break moment of their entire lives. There are over 100 known classes, completely locked into a strict tier list, starting at green, stepping up to blue, then red and peaking at gold. Every student gets exactly 1 shot to awaken, and by the time the final bell rings, the class they roll will literally dictate their social status forever. Soon enough, break time hits. Our boy steps outside, heavy nostalgia washing over him as he stares at the exact spot where his original awakening popped off. Out of nowhere, he nearly trips over a nerdy kid with glasses, instantly recognizing him. Right on cue, a gang of school bullies rolls up, and the ringleader immediately starts running his mouth. He calls the poor kid absolute garbage, totally roasting him for needing external support just to trigger his awakening. He viciously talks down to him, flexing that the kid will never be a super rare red tier awakened like he is, calling him a pathetic loser with 0 value. Meet Arturo Chang Chen, a hyper-aggressive star ninja and the campus terror. Our white-haired hero just watches this dumpster fire unfold in dead silence, flashing back to his past life where Arturo was literally a walking red flag. His insanely toxic vibe is practically hardwired into his DNA, a dark impulse constantly pushing him to start massive brawls. Suddenly, the vibe shifts as the teacher crashes the scene, shutting down the bullying with 0 hesitation. We are on an academic campus, not fighting out on the streets, snatching the cash right out of the nerdy kid's hands. Arturo glares back with major disrespect, totally victim-blaming the boy. He claims he was just collecting emotional damages for his buddy and refuses to back off. The punk even has the audacity to mock the teacher to her face, smirking that if she wasn't so ridiculously pretty, the school would have fired her ages ago. Miss Huan smartly tunes out his trash talk, dropping down to check on the victim, making sure he isn't badly hurt. Arturo just snickers, throws up a sarcastic fake salute, and swaggers off with his crew. But right before he leaves, he deliberately bumps straight into Alexis. He harshly shoves a hand into our guy's shoulder, violently pushing him back, while snarling at him to stop staring. He flashes a psycho grin, promising to circle back later to have some real fun with them. Shaking uncontrollably, the kid in glasses stammers out an apology, but Miss Huan gently talks him down, swearing that he did absolutely nothing wrong. Watching this, our main guy has a sudden realization. Sure, she always played the hard-ass teacher role, but deep down, she was genuinely sweet and practically saved his life, back in the day after his first awakening. Just then, another squad walks past them, calling out to the stunning teacher that it is finally time. Her entire class needs to head straight to the awakening chamber right now. Ella rounds up the students, dropping a heavy warning. Keep your cool during the whole thing, or you're gonna get seriously wrecked. As they head down the hall, Leader Alexis zones out, running through the only 2 ways people actually awaken in this messed up world. Option 1, going all natural, just like Arturo did. It's strictly VIP access for absolute beasts born with raw talent. It just violently snaps into place during moments of insane emotional overdrive. Option 2 is the awakening room, a crazy piece of tech cooked up by scientists sweating blood to make it happen. This bad boy artificially spikes your adrenaline and emotion, straight up forcing an awakening if you've got even a drop of potential. Since you only get 1 shot at this, it's literally the make or break moment of your entire life. Right on cue, one of his classmates stumbles out of the chamber, totally drained from his awakening. The teacher gently tells him to catch his breath before calling up the next name on the list. Alexis locks in, mentally slapping himself to stay frosty. Slacking off right now is straight up a death wish. Our guy steps inside, giving a quick nod. But mentally, he's drowning in dark flashbacks from his past life. Back then, he woke up as an A-rank nuclear warrior stuck in the trash tier green class. That pathetic label made him the ultimate punching bag, but grinding his way up to S rank finally let him evolve out of that nightmare. He knows deep down the nuclear element is his, but the real question is, what class is going to drop this time around? Boom! The chamber kicks into gear, the space around him warps, and massive red error screens flash wildly across the detection system. Instead of locking onto one element, 5 different ones explode into view. A brutal, scorching heat rips right through his veins. The holographic display glitches out, officially booting up the Infinite Awakening system. With 5 raw elemental cores burning inside him, the game just changed. He can handpick absolutely any class to kick off his journey. The system lays down one hardcore rule. Max out an element's energy and a brand new class automatically unlocks. It could be a totally random roll of the dice, or a massive buff stacked right on top of his current build. Our boy stares at the glowing text, completely blown away before the pieces finally click together in his head. He isn't just picking a class anymore. He's choosing the exact element to match it. And he can even swap them out down the line. His mind races, mapping out millions of cracked possibilities. He could land in the green rank, level up to blue or red, or even skyrocket straight to the mythical golden celestial tier. He literally has the cheat code to access every single class out there, even the ultra-rare unique specs. Right on cue, the system chimes in, backing up his crazy theory, but slapping down one massive catch. He gets to lock in his starter class, but from there on out, every future class is purely down to RNG, pure luck. That single detail triggers a flash in his brain. He clearly remembers the exact moment the demon Belphegor handed over a mysterious second gift. A brand new heart. The realization hits him like a freight train. That wasn't just some basic loot drop. It was the ultimate key to infinite awakenings. But before he can hype himself up, the system drops a dead serious warning. The second he locks in his first class, every other element goes dark, deactivated. One wrong move and it's game over. He's got to play this perfectly. Cut back to the hallway. The crowd of students is low-key, freaking out, totally stressed out by how insanely long he's been inside. Finally, the heavy doors slide open, and Alexis steps out into the light. Juan rushes him instantly. "Bro, what did you get?" he demands. Alexis doesn't even blink, dropping the news with zero emotion. He scored the nuclear warrior class. Green rank. The teacher's face drops for a split second, but she quickly plasters on a supportive smile to hype him up. She softly reminds him that even bottom-tier ranks have birthed literal geniuses. Don't give up. The world's rigged, but you can still make it. Our guy bluntly shoots down the pity party, but the busty teacher gently insists, telling him to go crash since he looks completely wiped out. Suddenly, a loud, obnoxious laugh shatters the vibe. Arturo steps up, openly dragging him in front of everyone. He mockingly parrots the teacher's cheesy motivational speech, then his face turns dead serious. "Reality check, losers. Being stuck in green rank makes you absolute bottom-of-the-barrel trash." In his eyes, this world only has 2 types of people: the VIPs, destined to serve the elites, and the weak, pathetic fodder born strictly to get stomped on. The white-haired boy just eyes him from the shadows, a pitch-black memory suddenly ripping through his mind. The very same elites responsible for his death and the massacre of his entire squad. Not missing a beat, Arturo shifts his toxic energy right to the teacher. He violently reminds her that green ranks are forever doomed to eat dirt at the bottom, because in this savage society, there is zero mercy. He looks dead at the nobodies with zero backing and spits straight facts. The weak are born to be sidelined, while the heavy hitters just keep stacking resources to become straight up untouchable. If you are a green rank, your fate is permanently locked from day one. His rant turns seriously toxic. He totally trashes the idea of grinding and hard work, calling it a complete scam, and says nobody can outrun their fate. The dude even has the guts to point right at the teacher, dragging her into it by saying her blue rank. Traps her in a totally mid-dead-end life. Then he drops the ultimate disrespect every single green rank needs to pack up and drop out, before they drain any more precious resources. You could cut the tension with a knife while he casually swirls a drink in his hand, but out of nowhere, our MC snatches the glass right out of his grip and splashes the whole thing dead in his face. The blonde bully freezes up in pure shock before absolutely blowing his lid, screaming to know what the hell that was for. The MC's comeback ice cold and brutal. He is just sick of hearing his annoying voice. Arturo does not back down. He lets out a psychotic laugh, spits a curse, and lunges straight for the kill. Juan scrambles to break it up, but he is way too slow to stop the chaos. Arturo unleashes his signature move, the star thrust strike, smirking like he has already won. But check this out. The exact microsecond that deadly strike is supposed to connect, our boy Alexis whips out his blade and parries it with god-tier precision. Without skipping a beat, he twists the hilt and fires back. In one fluid motion, blasting Arturo clear across the room. The bully crashes into the dirt, totally brain-broken and confused as hell. The rest of the class jaws on the floor, absolutely stunned. Meanwhile, our MC does not even break a sweat. He just shrugs and drops a flex, saying he picked this underdog class because it is what he knows best. Arturo drags himself up, choking out a bitter laugh, and desperately writes off the counter as dumb beginner's luck. He immediately starts flexing his red rank status, barking that he is leagues above a trash tier nobody like Alexis. But the gorgeous teacher saw the whole thing. She knows damn well that was not luck. That was an ultra-advanced technique. Parrying the hit at the perfect frame and deflecting the damage in under a second, veterans spend literal years grinding to master that move. Which leaves everyone wondering, how the hell did a completely unranked rookie pull off a god move on day one? Just then, the vibe gets insanely toxic again. Arturo whips out a dagger and points it straight at the MC's throat. He swears he's going to make him drop to his knees and beg to breathe. Still, our guy does not even blink. He fully knows he locked in the weakest class in the game, but he also understands that you cannot judge a build by its starting stats. At the end of the day, a person's fate is not decided the second they are born. It is forged in the absolute hell they walk through. All around them, the background characters start whispering. They know that triggering awakened powers in an unsanctioned brawl is a massive instant expulsion offense at the academy. Plus, there are way too many eyeballs on this to sweep it under the rug. The gossip quickly pivots to the real danger. Arturo's dad is a massive government VIP, and his uncle literally runs this academy, Alexis. He has got zero connections, a broke family, and no political armor to save him. If this blood feud keeps escalating, the ending is super predictable. Alexis is going to be the one getting permanently banned. The nerdy kid with the glasses spots the killer intent and frantically asks the teacher what the hell the plan is. Right. On cue, the teacher steps right into the crossfire, throwing up a total roadblock. She demands they chill out, reminding everyone that nothing is set in stone. And these two enemies could literally end up in the same squad. Jumping the gun now is a terrible play. But Arturo is not having any of it. He snaps back, completely cutting her off. Furious, he yells that this whole setup is an absolute joke. That trash tier animal humiliated him in front of the whole class, and now they expect him to just play nice. Nah, the talking stage is over. He swears he is going zero mercy mode, even if the MC drops and begs. He is determined to show the massive gap between the elite chosen and the absolute societal garbage. He promises to dish out a beatdown so savage it will haunt the rest of the school forever. Juan quietly runs the numbers in his head, and the scary part stat-wise, Arturo is completely right. The power gap is literally night and day. The MC is just a scraping by green rank with a flat 100% buff. And while blue ranks hit 150% and the top tier red ranks max out at a crazy 200%. Basically, the rich kid's stats are completely doubled. It is not even a fair fight. The scaling difference is insane. The nerdy kid stares at Alexis, already writing his obituary. In his head, it is game over. There is no escaping this. And that psycho opponent is going to crush him into dust. He quietly agonizes, totally clueless as to why anyone would ever pick a fight with a literal boss. This blonde dude might be an absolute scumbag, but let's face it, he's got the power. And in this brutal world, survival literally means staying out of his blast radius. If you're cornered, your only option is to bite the bullet and keep your eyes glued to the floor. Or just straight up surrender. Clashing with him head on, that's just begging to get clowned on. Without missing a beat, Arthur lunges forward, going in for the kill. The teacher panics, screaming a warning at our boy. Her mind races as Alexis going to pop a skill to block this. But she knows deep down, pulling off a defensive move right now would totally drain his stamina. Plus, his rival is bringing massive speed and insane firepower. Blocking this hit? Yeah, not happening. Arthur closes the gap in a split second, totally trash-talking him. He's dying to see how our guy plans to dodge this massive strike. But Alexis, he just stares right back, chilling like it's absolutely nothing. A single cold thought flashes through his mind. Why would I even bother dodging Bam? The whole vibe flips. He pops a skill and his entire body just blurs out of existence. He glitches back into reality, moving at breakneck speed. 1 second he's gone from little Arthur's radar, and the next he's materializing right beside him. Smack! He buries a brutal punch straight into his face. The bully crumples to the dirt, completely clueless about what just hit him. Alexis just glares down, totally unfazed, thinking this dude is straight up trash. And trash belongs in the dumpster. The whole crowd is shook. Jaws are on the floor. Nobody can even process the absolute madness that just went down. From where they're standing, the blonde punk just face-planted on his own. Some kids even think he just tripped over his own feet. But hey, not everyone missed the show. Lurking right behind the curvy teacher Laura, the class rep, saw the real deal. She's instantly breaking down the whole play in her head. Right as the attack dropped, Alexis triggered his special agility skill. And get this, he didn't just use the basic version, he flexed the advanced lightning tier. But that wasn't even the wildest part. The real jaw-dropping moment was the follow-up. In a fraction of a second, he scanned Arthur's weak spot, went in for the kill, and totally shattered his entire defense. One single motion, and he did it all using just basic entry-level skills. Absolute god-tier mastery, flawless execution, and insane split-second reflexes. He even casually broke the school rules without blinking an eye. Now Laura's brain is screaming one massive question. Who the heck is Alexis really? Meanwhile, the rest of the peanut gallery is still buffering. They literally can't compute how the big bad bully just hit the pavement. It literally looked like our guy didn't even lift a finger. Suddenly, a slick system screen pops up right in front of Alexis. Boom, 50 experience points gained. And their star element points to the exact same type that Punk was rocking. His tactical mind instantly starts grinding. Just as he calculated, popping his class skills in a real brawl farms him raw XP. Plus, he's leeching the enemy's elemental stats. But let's be real, 50 points is basically pocket change. He realizes he needs to go hard and clear out some dungeons fast. Smash cut to the next scene. The humiliated bully scrambles back up, absolutely raging. He snatches his dagger, clutching his own neck, screaming that this absolute nobody isn't walking away alive. He's literally out for blood, but before he can even make a move, bam! The Academy director Juan steps onto the scene. His voice instantly kills the tension. He barks at Arthur to stand down brutally, pointing out that the whole school is basically laughing at him right now. Arthur stammers, trying to pull the uncle card to save face, but Juan shuts him down cold. The director then turns his icy glare to the rest of the mob. He tells them they're probably all wiped out from the awakening ceremony. He orders everyone to pack it up, head home, and chill out since the weekend is practically here. Oh, and he drops a quick reminder, make sure to tell your folks about your new combat classes. Then Juan locks eyes with our guy, delivering a straight-up chilling warning. The Academy strictly bans flashing awakened powers on campus. But that one word, home, totally freezes our protagonist. He stands completely locked up, the heavy realization hitting him. He actually got reincarnated. He's traveled back in time by several years. That means his family. They're all still alive. But then a massive wave of dread washes over him. May 22nd, the year 2105, the exact day of his awakening. A catastrophic disaster is about to wipe everything out. Juan calls out to him, but it's dead silence. Our guy is already sprinting for his life. The director just watches him vanish into the distance. With a flick of his wrist, he signals the teacher to put her students on a tighter leash. He decides to brush the whole street fight off, pretending he didn't see a thing. The teacher frantically apologizes. Fast forward a bit, and Arthur is sweating it out in the director's office. He's standing there still absolutely fuming, desperately trying to cover his tracks. He keeps whining that it was just dumb luck, that if it wasn't for pure luck, he totally would have crushed him. But Juan slams his fist down on the desk, shutting that garbage excuse down instantly. He hits his nephew with the brutal truth, explaining that the very millisecond Arthur lunged, that kid popped the lightning skill. And before Arthur's brain could even register the threat, Alexis pinpointed his fatal weak spot, delivered the smackdown, and shattered his entire guard in less than a second. And the craziest part, he pulled it off, using absolute bottom-tier skills. Then the director drops an absolute bombshell. Even he himself, a veteran, with 15 years of blood and sweat on the front lines, wouldn't dare claim he could pull off a flawless combo like that. Talk about a massive reality check. It's absolutely crushing. She describes the beatdown as a pro gamer utterly wrecking a noob using nothing but basic attacks. She wraps up with a chilling warning. This kid, he is way more dangerous than that blonde punk could ever imagine. Cut to the next scene. Alexis is full-on sprinting through the streets, pushing himself to the limit. His mind is totally racing. He's been reborn and his ultimate endgame hasn't changed, destroying the elites who run this world. But right now, there's an immediate crisis he absolutely cannot dodge. He has to stop the incoming nightmare, even if he has to put his own life on the line. Alexis bursts through his front door. In the living room, his dad is sprawled on the couch, laughing his head off at the TV. Meanwhile, his mom is tucked away in the kitchen, quietly scrubbing dishes. The second his dad spots him, he casually drops, "Home already? They let you out of school early today?" Our MC locks eyes with his mom, an eerie calm washing over him. Honestly, he's just thrilled to see her breathing. Wasting zero time, he makes a straight line for the kitchen. Being mute, she flashes him a warm smile and signs that she cooked up his absolute favorite pasta. But Alexis totally switches up the vibe, faking a whiny tone. "I was really craving some fried mojara and yuca." She quickly signs back, begging him to save that craving for tomorrow, pointing out the pasta is already done. But Alexis doubles down, pleading, "Please, Mom, let's just go. I literally can't eat anything else right now." Giving in his mom gestures that he's acting like a total brat and heads for the door to grab the food. Our MC shadows her, desperate to get her out of there. But right before they can slip out, his dad barks from the living room. "Your mother can go by herself." "What is your problem, boy? You think you can just march in here without greeting me? Isn't today your awakening day? Spit it out. What happened?" The man staggers up, cracks open the fridge, and grabs a cold Castaneda beer. And boom, his true stats pop up. Jose Shin, level 26, Electric Warrior class. Glaring daggers at his son, he adds, "I wrapped up work early to come celebrate with you." Alexis replies with icy composure, "Dad, I didn't get lucky with the awakening today. It was a total mess. The process dragged on forever, and they shut it down before I could even finish." Jose's face twists in disgust. "Then why the hell are you home so early? Lay's kid awakened as a blue rank. That punk is just as pathetic as his old man. But my blood, the son of Jose, the absolute bare minimum you should pull, is a red rank, right? When I was your age, I hit red rank with zero help. I gave you everything to raise you right. So, tell me, what is your rank?" A suffocating heavy pressure instantly floods the room. A terrifying aura explodes from the father. As he slowly closes the distance, our MC struggles to get the words out. But the second he whispers the truth, green rank, it's game over. Without a flinch, Jose smashes the glass bottle straight across his son's skull. "You've been freeloading at that academy all these years pretending to study. And now you crawl back here telling me you're a green rank? You trying to humiliate me?" Alexis, head spinning from the blow, barely processes that his dad is a fully awakened combatant. Completely unhinged and out of control. Bam! A savage punch connects squarely with his jaw. The scene suddenly shifts. Years have passed, but the MC remembers that exact nightmare. The second his dad found out about the green rank, he took it as a massive personal insult, and the situation inside the house rapidly turned into a war zone. Like always, his mom threw herself in the crossfire to protect him, but Alexis was way too weak to defend her. His sick dad unleashed every ounce of his rage on her instead. For an entire hour of pure hell that day, he shattered her leg and fractured her skull, leaving her permanently traumatized. Snap back to the present. Our MC is already bleeding on the floor from the impact, but his resolve is rock solid. I awakened as an E-class nuclear warrior. I picked this specific class for its insane hidden skills, but I need time to scale up. Plus, he's a red rank. He's got way too much combat experience. He's not a pushover like Arturo. I can't beat him right now. Suddenly, his deranged father grabs a fistful of his hair and violently yanks him up. I screwed up. I should have ended you when you were just a screaming piece of flesh, before you could drag my name through the dirt. And that's when it all clicks. Alexis perfectly predicted that this monster would ditch work early just to check his stats. That's exactly why he tried so desperately to get his mom out of the house. He didn't give a damn about taking a savage beating, as long as she was safe from the crossfire. But at that exact heartbreaking moment, the front door creaks open. His mom is back. The grocery bags slip right through her fingers, crashing to the floor, as she stands there utterly paralyzed by shock. Our MC stares at her in absolute panic. Why did she come back so fast? She rushed back, so she wouldn't be late making my dinner. The father slowly twists his head toward her. A sick smirk crawls across his face. Home already. Come look at the absolute garbage you brought into this world. Cut to a maximum security cell. A guy sits there staring him down with ice-cold focus, his voice dropping an octave. He mentions hearing the kid is the very first green tier to beg for a rank up. Totally unheard of. Normally, bottom feeders in his class are stuck there until they hit at least A rank, just to meet the bare minimum requirements. He takes a beat sizing the kid up. But you aren't just trying to skip the line, are you? You're aiming for a massive tier jump, a peak only 1 in a million ever touches. Leaning in close, he finally demands to know why the kid is here. He drops a harsh reminder. This cell block is strictly for the worst of the worst guys waiting for their final curtain call. Our boy doesn't even blink. He spits out that the bastard had it coming, that he deserved to be wiped off the map. Boiling with rage, he screams, "How dare he lay his hands on my mom until she was gone?" There is zero hesitation in his voice. Just pure raw determination fueled by heartbreak and bottled up fury. Flashback to his house. His so-called dad viciously backhands his mom. Right then and there, something snaps inside our guy. In a blinding flash, he materializes right in front of the monster. He blocks the incoming strike, shoves him back hard, and growls, "Don't you ever touch her again." The dad freezes. But instead of throwing a fit, an arrogant smirk creeps onto his face. "Oh, someone thinks they're a big boy now. Think you can step up to me?" He starts stalking forward, slow and menacing. Our boy braces himself for the impact, but the sheer speed of the swing catches him completely off guard. He tries to hold his ground, but his blade shatters into pieces, and the follow-up strike slams dead center into his chest. A savage shockwave of agony rips through him. His ribs crunch, sounding like they're about to cave in entirely. The old man coldly mocks his attempt at a rebellion. Without a second thought, he unleashes his signature move, the heavy black lightning. Our guy knows instantly dodging is completely off the table. He throws everything he has into blocking the terrifying strike. Even so, his dad just keeps running his mouth, casually admitting the kid's got some guts. But he makes it painfully obvious that all that bravery, totally useless. He spits out that the kid's class is a pathetic joke, that trash like them exist only to be ground into the dirt until nothing is left. Alexis grinds his teeth together. Deep down, a fire ignites. Not this time. I won't let it all crash and burn like before. I refuse to let history repeat my past life. Meanwhile, his deranged dad hoists a chair high in the air, gearing up for another brutal smash. He glares over at the mom. "The day you told me you were knocked up, I actually thought we'd get someone worthy of this family's name," he barks. "But you couldn't even get that right." He hurls the chair with full force. In a split second, Alexis triggers his flash step skill. He teleports right across the room in a blink. Boom! He intercepts the heavy blow midair, tanking the damage head on, shielding his mom from the blast. His dad just chuckles openly, mocking the kid. "Wow, you think you're some kind of hero now? Just because you had a little awakening. What do you think you're the man of the house now?" He winds up ready to deliver a devastating finisher. Knock, knock, knock. A commanding voice from outside demands they open up right now. The dad freezes, visibly annoyed. Muttering about who the heck would dare interrupt his moment, he stomps over to the entryway and throws the door open. He snaps at them, demanding to know what the crazy pounding is all about. Standing on the porch are Liam, the vice commander of the Inspection Bureau, and lead investigator Chen. Heavy hitters. Both of them are high-tier celestial priests. Liam scowls, pointing out he's been knocking for ages. "What exactly had you so distracted in there?" he asks, narrowing his eyes. The dad flips his attitude like a light switch. Suddenly playing the respectful host, he asks what brings the authorities to their doorstep. Liam gets straight to the point. They got a hot tip. A massive fugitive named Snow was spotted lurking near the apartment block. Now they are sweeping every single unit in the neighborhood. He zeroes in on the dad, asking if they've seen anything sus going down. The dad forces a fake breezy laugh. He brushes it off, saying that criminal's mug is all over the news 24/7. And if he spotted him, he would have snitched in a heartbeat. But Liam isn't listening. His eyes are completely locked onto our guy. Clocking the kid's massive bleeding injuries, Liam demands to know what the heck happened. Desperate to cover his tracks and play it cool, The dad smoothly claps a hand on Liam's shoulder. He laughs it off, claiming his spoiled brat of a son is just super clumsy. He swears he tripped it down the stairs on a grocery run. But this time, Alexis isn't swallowing the lie. He locks eyes with the officers and drops the bombshell. This was no clumsy fall. His own flesh and blood beat him black and blue. Let's rewind 18 minutes. We pan over to a local grocery store. Right there, our main guy gets the inspection office on the line, tipping them off about a sketchy guy named Snow, a notorious fugitive plastering the local news. He knew dropping that name would instantly trigger panic mode. But even in his wildest calculations, he never expected them to blitz the scene this fast. Cut to the vice commander. Glaring with dead eyes, he demands, "Is the father story actually legit?" The dad plays the victim instantly. "Are you kidding me? How could I ever lay a finger on my own boy?" My heart shatters just looking at him. Oh, what a performance. But Alexis cuts right through the lies, cold and calculated. My arm was bashed with a chair, and my skull got cracked by a beer bottle. You don't get these gashes from tumbling down some steps. Check the blunt force trauma yourself, Vice Commander. Awakened individuals who let their violent impulses run wild intentionally mangle innocent people. Plus, under Article 4, Chapter 8 of the Management Regulations of the Divine Codex, it's crystal clear. If a hostile awakened poses a literal threat, they get dragged straight to lockup for a mandatory 15-day stretch in the awakened penitentiary. The Vice Commander and the lead investigator are totally floored by his textbook knowledge. Liam glares at the so-called dad, absolutely disgusted, and snaps. "Jose Shin, I am Vice Commander Liam of the Inspection Squad. You are officially under arrest. Keep your mouth shut. The fallout is instantaneous." Completely unhinged, the dad lunges at our hero, but the investigator pins him to the floor in a heartbeat. "Try to fight back and we will break you." He gets dragged out of the apartment screaming like a lunatic. "Just you wait. Alexis, I will hunt you down." Unbothered, our boy just slams the door shut. His mom rushes in, gripping him in a desperate hug, but he just softens his gaze and whispers, "Mom, take a breath. We're safe now." For the very first time, he actually managed to shield her. And now, he realizes he's bought himself 15 solid days. More than enough time to level up. But wait, there's a twist. He didn't just take that beating for nothing. During the absolute chaos, he casually swiped the key to his old man's safe. The stash hidden inside connects all the dots. Turns out his dad stabbed his own squad in the back, just to climb from E rank to C rank. Fast forward a bit. Alexis slips into the room and cracks the safe wide open. In his past life, he didn't even know this existed, until his dad was already 6 feet under. He pulls out a sleek lethal dagger and smirks. "Since you're mine now, I can solo the demon cave without breaking a sweat. Plus, dungeons these days are dropping into class upgrades like crazy." The catch: the gods strictly gatekeep all of them, locking out anyone without a guild badge. My only legal options are the lame school dungeons. But that hidden demon cave from my past life, that's my golden ticket to absolutely dominate everyone. The camera flips back to the inspection headquarters, where the task force is grabbing a quick bite. The entire security grid was flashing red, which is exactly why the vice commander stormed the scene himself. Yet Snow ghosted them completely. Maybe it was a total fluke, but they can't just brush it off. The guy is an absolute anarchist. If he crashes the festival, it's going to be an apocalyptic bloodbath. Someone finally breaks the tension. "So, I heard the big boss is stepping in to take my spot today. Is that true?" Liam just shoots an icy glare. "That is classified." Meanwhile, the toxic dad is rotting in a holding cell, throwing a pathetic pity party. "Vice Commander, please, you gotta cut me some slack. It's my first strike. I swear on my life, it will never happen again." "Hey, I heard your wife's expecting a baby real soon, right? A buddy of mine runs an elite postpartum clinic out in the province." Liam stops dead in his tracks, his eyes practically burning holes through him. "Are you seriously trying to bribe a federal inspector? You used to be a respected guild member. What kind of garbage have you turned into?" He just turns his back and walks out. The coward is left shaking only to get one last brutal reality check from Chen. If word gets out about this little stunt, a simple holding cell will be the least of your worries. Get some sleep while you still can. Tomorrow morning, you're getting shipped straight to the awakened maximum security block. The officer storms out, leaving the dad choking on his own toxic rage. Back at the apartment, the mom is finally out cold. But Alexis, he's staring at the ceiling, fully wired awake. The clock is officially ticking. He's got exactly 15 days before his old man gets back, and that's his absolute hard deadline. He desperately needs to level up, and fast. The only real play here, demonic dungeons. These hellholes literally spawn out of nowhere, acting like twisted parallel dimensions linked by glitchy portals. The catch, the second they are discovered, massive guilds swoop in and completely monopolize them. These zones are absolutely stacked with savage monsters, and top-tier loot basically serving as the ultimate grinding spots for awakened fighters. But don't get it twisted. They are insanely deadly, usually demanding a fully decked-out squad just to survive. Cut to our boy standing dead in his tracks in front of a massive gate, having major flashbacks to his past life. This specific dungeon didn't actually hit the mainstream news until 5 years later. Literally nobody even knew it existed, before the whole demonic invasion kicked off. Now a standard F-rank dungeon normally takes a 3-man squad of E-rankers, and in E-rank you'd need 5 heavy hitters. Doing the math, he mutters, there's a 90% chance this bad boy is just an F-rank. It's literally the lowest tier hidden dungeon I can actually raid right now. Zero hesitation. He steps straight through the portal and plunges into the abyss. He knows going solo is basically a death wish, but he's totally out of time. The second he spawns in the difficulty meter is completely unreadable. He scans the area, and it's just an endless blinding wasteland of snow. A massive red flag. This has got to be the hunting grounds for cloud magic beasts. He pushes through the freezing blizzard until he stumbles upon a massive sleeping creature totally surrounded by human skeletons. Creepy, right? Someone definitely bit the dust here before him. He quickly runs a visual scan. Okay, it's a hibernating magical beast, an E-rank icefield bear. But suddenly, bam! Something lunges out of nowhere at breakneck speed. Alexis whips around, locking into a battle stance. It's a level 2 cloud wolf, a pure elemental beast technically way above his current weight class. The monster launches itself at his throat, but he fiercely sidesteps the strike. The wolf rebounds aggressive as ever, but this time our boy parries the massive hit with his dagger. They lock eyes in a tense standoff before Alexis totally flips the script. He goes full aggro, driving the blade deep and instantly wiping it out. Glancing down at his bloodstained weapon, he smirks. This black market dagger is definitely going to carry me while my stats are garbage. It's a straight-up A-rank artifact. It slices through solid steel like butter and comes loaded with insane broken stats. Even so, these dungeon mobs are built like tanks, meaning he still has to combo his strikes just to secure the kill. For a split second, he gets a massive wave of nostalgia from his rank 1 days. He pulls up his system interface and realizes he's got to slaughter 20 more of these mutts just to hit the next level. Well, at least he already farmed some solid cloud element points. Suddenly, a spine-chilling sound shatters the silence. Howls. Erupting from every direction, Alexis slowly turns his head, spotting a massive bloodthirsty pack, stampeding straight toward him. The fresh scent of blood just rang the dinner bell. As they close in, he mutters one chilling question. Are these freaks seriously going to jump me all at once? Our white-haired menace doesn't even blink. He ditches his defensive stance and straight up charges headfirst into the swarm, slicing them down back to back, leaving absolutely zero breathing room. His movement is purely savage. One second he's deflecting, the next, he's phantom dodging. And then he's literally vaulting over their jaws to land a lethal counter. He weaves through the bloodbath with god-tier agility, dropping a wolf every single time he dashes past them. Finally, the sweet system prompt flashes right before his eyes. Loot acquired 18 Frostwolf fangs. Now he's standing face to face with the Alpha, a terrifying level 4 Wolf King. Without a shred of fear, he blitzes the boss and completely obliterates it. In a matter of seconds, the boss dissolves, dropping a super rare wolf gem alongside a massive chunk of XP. He smirks, his confidence totally skyrocketing. If I keep steamrolling them like this, hitting that next rank is going to be an absolute breeze. The camera cuts to his stats panel. He just cleared the first stage of E rank, snagging a juicy 12 attribute points to spend. But as the adrenaline fades, a harsh reality check hits him right in the gut. He only bodybagged 20 wolves, but his muscles are already screaming from sheer exhaustion. With his currently trashed stamina stats, his energy bar is draining way too fast. He quickly connects the dots. He desperately needs a dimensional bag, a spatial inventory slot to haul out all this insane loot without getting weighed down. Flash forward, we see him tossing that ultra-rare Frostwolf diamond in his hand. This core is practically indestructible, making it the holy grail for crafting overpowered custom weapons. Staring into the glowing crystal, his eyes narrow. Listen, if I'm really going to breach the high-tier demonic dungeons, my only play is to infiltrate the Ruler's Guild. Lucky for me, the academy I'm enrolled in is basically a direct pipeline to them. They literally use this place as a brutal meat grinder to filter out the weak. Top-tier grads get headhunted, obviously. But if you get kicked out, your life is basically over. Just look at what happened to my dad. Still, let's be real. Clearing this dungeon solo is practically a suicide mission. Plus, this freezing cold is absolutely tanking my stamina. Suddenly, his train of thought snaps. Another pack is closing in. He instantly breaks into a dead sprint, with the beasts right on his heels. Without missing a beat, he whips out his dagger, slashing the surrounding trees to create a massive racket and drop obstacles in their path. But abruptly, the wolves skid to a halt. The reason becomes terrifyingly clear. Drawn by the absolute chaos, massive snakes slither out of the shadows. And this wasn't some random accident. Our boy orchestrated this entire mess, intentionally aggroing the dungeon's mobs to wipe them all out in one insane swoop. Exactly according to plan, the monsters completely box him in. Right then, he hurls an explosive that detonates midair, drawing every single eye. Enter the Glacier Bear, an unhinged rank 8 beast. The absolute unit starts bulldozing through the smaller mobs, tearing them apart without caring who's friend or foe. Pure panic rips through the horde. While the giant beast completely wrecks the place, our main character uses the total pandemonium to go on the offensive. Letting the bear do the heavy lifting, he ruthlessly picks off the remaining stragglers. He completely exploits the low IQ of these rank E grunts. The payoff absolutely massive. He levels up to rank E level 4. The strategy is simple. Dodge the bear's lethal strikes while cleaning up the trash mobs. After sticking a flawless landing, he scans the bloodbath. Even with that giant bear doing the dirty work, I'm absolutely wiped. Phase 2 needs to happen right now. My stamina is completely shot. Without a second thought, he plunges his dagger straight into the ground. The sheer force shatters the ice beneath him. He knew it all along. This wasn't some frozen lake. It was a fragile ice bridge suspended over a massive gorge. The moment it cracks, the entire thing caves in. The monsters plummet straight into the abyss. Boom! Just like that, he skyrockets to level 7, bagging insane loot wolf fangs, beast diamonds, and lethal snake venom. The dust settles, proving his galaxy brain strat worked flawlessly. He wiped out an entire army in a single play. The stragglers still stuck up top are completely trapped, so he squares up to finish the job. The surviving wolves lunge at him with the bear hot on their trail. Suddenly, the massive beast leaps crashing down right between our boy and his targets. Right then, a glowing system prompt pops up. He just unlocked the 1 versus 100 title, a rare reward for fighting a massive horde solo. The perk, a flat 10% boost to all his base stats. But amidst the adrenaline rush, something feels wildly off. He narrows his eye. Something ain't right here. Every single demon dungeon has a boss, and it should be a rank E threat like a level 10 Lion King. Are you kidding me? All this absolute chaos, and it still hasn't spawned? Where the hell is it hiding? The vibe instantly shifts. The rampaging bear and the bloodthirsty wolves freeze dead in their tracks. An ungodly freezing aura sweeps over the battlefield. Every alarm bell in his head starts screaming. Is this some kind of ice mage's spell? He mutters, his breath visible in the biting air. But the second he feels that sheer killing intent lock onto him, instinct takes over. Mid-air, the horrifying truth finally clicks. The boss wasn't sleeping. It had been lurking in the shadows this entire time, just watching. It purposely let them slaughter each other, waiting for the perfect moment to third-party the survivors and clean up the absolute mess. And this is its grand entrance. Right behind him, the shockwave hits flash, freezing the giant bear and the wolves into solid ice statues instantly. The glacial shockwave doesn't stop. It violently chases him down, catching his leg and instantly encasing it in solid frost. Staring at his frozen limb, an even darker realization hits him. The boss is the one who really shattered that bridge. He got completely played. The monster had waited for the exact millisecond our boy wiped out the lower-tier mobs to strike. The sheer terrifying IQ of this enemy leaves him utterly stunned. He slowly looks up. There, perched on an icy crag, looms a grotesque, ancient-looking monkey demon. Meet the final boss, the Blue Forest King, a brutal level 11 rank D nightmare. Flanked by a loyal elite guard of level 10 demon monkeys, the boss glares down at Alexis. Surrounded by a graveyard of frozen corpses, the beast cracks a sick, malicious grin. With his mobility completely crippled, our boy realizes how utterly doomed he is. If he stays stuck here, the bitter cold is going to end him. It's going to drain every last drop of body heat he has, and rip his life away right along with it. The boss points right at him without missing a beat, spitting out some twisted alien garbage language. That ape snaps to attention and lunges straight for our guy. Boom! He realizes he's completely cornered. But right as the beast gets in his face, raising a massive fist for the kill, crash, the ice shatters into a million pieces. Our hero snaps back into action, instantly countering with a heavy strike to the ape, his mind racing. I burned through all my mana just shattering that ice. My stamina is absolutely tanked right now. I need way more time before I can drop another massive spell like that. I gotta end this guy fast. A split second later, the boss raises his hand and clenches his fist. The frost trapping the other monsters violently cracks apart, and the entire horde starts swarming in. Our boy realizes how screwed he is. That cloud element is a crazy strong natural counter to his own fire abilities. With his stamina totally drained, taking on just those two apes is going to be a total nightmare. If more of these freaks keep spawning, my survival chances drop straight to 0, he mutters to himself. One ape strikes first. Our hero barely deflects the heavy blow, getting 0 room to breathe. Then the second one dives in. He leaps out of the way, crashing back onto the dirt, completely gassed. And things get way messier. A massive bear crashes the party, slamming into him before he can even blink. Launching him flying through the air, he somehow sticks the landing on his feet, but he's barely clinging to consciousness. It's way too freezing out here. My stamina's seconds away from hitting absolute 0. His inner voice panics. Meanwhile, the boss just laughs. A terrifying aura erupts around him, unleashing a brutal, blinding blizzard. Our MC freezes in pure shock. He can't wrap his head around how the boss triggered that skill, or why its cooldown is so insanely fast. I faced some seriously brutal stuff in my past life. Those nightmares gave me a killer instinct for spotting the exact right move. Right now I've got exactly 2 plays. Option 1, stand my ground and keep fighting. But my body is totally shot. Even if I somehow tanked the damage and wiped out a bunch of these mobs, there's no way I'd make it out alive. As for option 2, the scene violently shifts. He spins around without a second thought and sprints straight for the valley. Reaching the cliff's edge, he just jumps. The blizzard chases him down, blasting his leg and instantly spreading pure ice across his entire body. Up above, the boss and its horde stare down in total confusion, watching our hero's frozen body plummet straight into the abyss. Then a total scenery switch. Back in our hero's room, his mom casually walks in, muttering to herself. I let him sleep in since it's the weekend, but she stops dead in her tracks, staring at an empty bed. Resting on the blanket is a quick note. She grabs it, reading that her son went to a friend's place, won't be long, and not to stress. Even so, the vibes are totally off. What on earth happened to you, Alexis? Ever since you dragged yourself home yesterday? You've been acting like a complete stranger. I don't know why, but my gut is screaming that something is terribly wrong. Cut back to the icy valley. Our boy has smashed right into the river, desperately fighting to stay afloat and drag himself out. He remembers that the moment the ice bridge collapsed, over 100 magic beasts took a massive nosedive into the void. Right then, his level spiked to 3. That means he literally wiped out 60 of them, leaving roughly 40 still breathing. And there's the massive brain play. When he launched himself off that cliff, he bet everything on a river waiting at the bottom. That was option 2, his one and only shot at survival. He nailed the guess, but man, the toll was brutal. Shattering the ice a second time, literally zeroed out his mana, and falling from that insane height, practically broke his body. Finally, the scene fades out as he lies completely paralyzed. Our MC is literally knocking on death's door. But suddenly, a terrifying beast crashes the scene. The Glacier Lord, a massive level 9 monster. It slowly stalks toward our guy who's completely trapped deep in a dream state. In there, he's reliving flashes from his past life, with his old crew just sitting around chatting, like the world could never break them. But the memory quickly turns toxic. He's forced to watch his own brutal murder play out all over again. And right then, the traitor's face comes into dead focus. The very guy who backstabbed him without a single... Suddenly, his fingers twitch. Caught dead center between a nightmare and reality, he makes a vow to himself. No more limits. I refuse to let anything hold me back. Not after everything I regretted in my last life. I swear on my life I'm never letting history repeat itself. I refuse to lose it all again. Out of nowhere, the beast unhinges its massive jaws to swallow him whole. But our boy reacts in a split second. He springs up, grabs the monster right by its massive fang, and brutally jams his dagger straight down its throat without a second thought. He spits out, "I already lost everything once when my first life ended. But there is no way in hell I'm dying that easily this time." Right after that, he delivers a bone-crushing kick to its skull, sending the massive beast flying. Sliding backward, he plants one hand firmly on the icy ground to stick the landing. Suddenly, his entire aura shifts. Something inside him just snapped into a higher gear. He realizes being pushed to the absolute brink just triggered a major level up. A pack of bloodthirsty wolves closes in, boxing him in from all sides. But he just stares them down, completely unfazed as he starts thinking out loud. So I chose to solo clear this entire dungeon. I lured every single one of these freaks right to me and threw myself off that cliff. Basically, I'm forcing myself into these do-or-die nightmares on purpose. And it's all just to force my body to remember, to get back those insane combat instincts I had. Within seconds, the entire horde of monsters swarms him all over again. The Glacier Lord, absolutely losing its mind after getting its fangs shattered, is just radiating pure unhinged rage. At that exact second, a flashback of his dad bleeding out right in front of him flashes through his mind, and his adrenaline absolutely skyrockets. A blue system window pops up, pushing past his absolute limits, maxed out his adrenaline gauge. But since he didn't hit every single requirement, the class advancement straight up rejects him. Still, he scores a sick new skill, Holy Light Swords. For him, this whole rush feels like a massive wave of locked away emotions crashing down all at once. He mutters under his breath, "Guess that wasn't quite enough to trigger the class evolution." But hey, free skill. Now it's time to wipe this place clean. And right on cue, the Glacier Lord lunges straight for the kill. Alexis casually spins his dagger the exact millisecond a massive bear tries to blindside him from behind. Without even missing a beat, he unleashes a savage spinning slash that clears the entire zone. One fluid motion is all it takes. Every single monster drops dead instantly, totally obliterated. With the massacre over, he scoops up a massive pile of sweet loot and dings level 9. His stamina fully resets, and on top of that, he unlocks the True Ice Drifter title. This new perk gives him crazy heavy resistance against all ice element freaks. Glaring up toward the ceiling, he growls, "Alright, time to go back up and finish you off." He strides right through the mountain of monster corpses. He hit level 9, and you can tell he feels the power surge. At this point, shredding through rank A beasts is basically child's play. He isn't even shivering in the freezing cold anymore. That crazy technique he just unlocked, it lets him tank damage, store it up, and nuke his enemies with one massive overpowered blast. It takes a ton of absorbed hits to charge up, but spamming it is exactly how he managed to restore all his stamina. Still being trapped down here, he totally lost track of time. He has zero clue how many hours have actually passed. But he knows he has to bounce soon, or his mom is going to have a full-blown panic attack over him missing. Meanwhile, cutting back to the top of the icy cliff, we get a peek into a hidden carved-out cavern room. The dungeon boss is just chilling on his makeshift throne, surrounded by a squad of creepy monkey monsters dangling from the icy ceiling. Suddenly, bam! The mangled corpse of a massive bear gets chucked violently right onto the floor in front of the boss. The monkeys instantly freak out, dropping down to inspect the dead beast in total shock. Then standing completely casually on top of the dead bear, Alexis smirks and says, "Long time no see, huh?" Oh, and by the way, Alexis has already grinded his way to level 10 and hit rank E. The camera then cuts back home to his mom. She's pacing nervously by the window, completely stressed out and wondering where on earth her son ran off to. She's terrified about why he isn't back yet, just praying with everything she has that he's still alive and safe. Snapping back to the dungeon, that massive dead bear gets brutally slammed right onto the floor in front of the boss's hideout. The monkey minions start tweaking, immediately, dropping from the ceiling to stare at the shredded corpse. And right on top of it, our boy stands there, looking like an absolute menace. He flashes a cocky grin and says, "Well, well, fancy seeing you here again." The boss just furiously points a finger right at his face, barking out threats in some weird monster language. It's desperately trying to flex its authority right from the jump. And with zero warning, one of the monkey grunts lunges straight at Alexis, aiming to crush his skull. But Alexis isn't even sweating it. He flawlessly parries the strike, and in one brutal, buttery, smooth motion, absolutely slices the freak to ribbons. You can literally see the shock hit the boss's face, but he recovers fast. He aims his magic staff and blasts a massive chaotic blizzard straight at him. But guess what? Things are way different this time around. Alexis doesn't back down an inch. He pops his new ice resistance buff to tank the freezing damage and charges headfirst right into the eye of the storm. He charges straight through the storm, not even flinching. Closing in on the boss, the terrified monster scrambles backward, desperately hiding behind its monkey bodyguards. Ice cold, our boy just smirks. The second I'm done with you, the D rank is mine. Boom. He triggers quick lightning. Blurring past the minions like a laser, he cleanly slices off the boss's arm holding that second staff. The boss just freezes completely mind-blown, unable to process the attack. A split second later, our MC materializes right beside it. Looking like he barely broke a sweat, he leans in and whispers, "Long live the guts." Nah, just kidding. What he actually says is, "You've reached the end of the line." With one brutal final strike, he absolutely obliterates the monster. 1000 XP instantly drops, pushing him straight into D-rank territory. Meanwhile, the monkey mobs are just frozen in place like statues. They're just staring completely terrified and clueless about what just went down. Right then, flashing right in front of him, the system interface pops up with some sweet loot to grab. But wait, there's a crazy notification. His cloud element just hit the max level, meaning a brand new class is about to awaken. Our guy pauses, thinking it over. Man, I've been grinding so hard I completely forgot about this feature. Honestly, the cloud element alone is insanely OP. Suddenly, this intense glowing red aura wraps around his entire body, and the system confirms the hype. He just unlocked the level 1 Cloud Mage class, and the best part? From now on, he can swap classes whenever he feels like it. Scanning the stats, his jaw drops at something even crazier. This is a red tier class. Sure, it's technically an E rank, but that red tier status gives him a massive 200% stat boost. That skyrockets his power level straight up to D rank territory. Out of thin air, a D rank mage weapon, and a glowing magic stone spawn right in front of him. Along with that, he scores an inventory bag with 20 empty slots. He casually crouches down to scoop up his loot, all while those monkey mobs just awkwardly stare at him, completely mind-boggled by what they're seeing. Snatching up the stone in the bag, he shifts his gaze back to the surviving monsters, totally unbothered. Well then, looks like we still got some small fry left over. He reaches out his hand and immediately, a blinding crimson energy explodes outward. He's officially swapped his class. He's stepping up as a full-blown cloud mage now. Aiming the magic stone right at them, he smirks. Time for a little test drive with this new build. Let's see what it can do. The camera then cuts to a completely different vibe. Back at Alexis's place, his mom is slumped on the couch, pacing in her own head, anxiously waiting for him to come home. Suddenly, the front door clicks open. She jumps to her feet the second he walks in, his tough exterior melting into a warm, gentle smile. "I'm so sorry for keeping you waiting, Mom." Dropping all her defenses, she rushes over, throwing her arms around him and just breaking down in tears. He holds her tight, speaking in this incredibly soothing tone. "You've been up this whole time and you didn't even eat. Guess what, Mom? I've got some massive news, and I promise you're gonna love it." Without skipping a beat, our MC tells his mom to pack her bags, leave this toxic house, and cut off his deadbeat dad for good. This isn't just some crazy impulse either. Thanks to that new inventory bag, he can easily pack up everything that actually matters. Aside from his starter weapons, he's hauling over 12 high-tier artifacts. More than enough cash flow to start a brand new life. We jump to this shady low-key meetup. Sitting across from him, a sketchy buyer is inspecting the gems. Our MC cuts right to the chase. He wants $8,000 per piece. The guy immediately loses his mind. "Are you out of your mind? That much for one shiny rock?" Completely unfazed, our guy snatches the gem right back out of his hands. "Cool, guess I'll just take my business somewhere else." The buyer panics and scrambles to stop him. "Whoa, hold up. Don't get greedy now. I'll give you $2,000 a pop." They go back and forth in this high-stakes game of chicken until the exhausted buyer finally caves. "Fine, $7,000 apiece." The deal is locked in, and honestly, the MC played him like a fiddle. Back in his past life, he used to deal with underground magic brokers all the time. He knew the exact street value of every single drop. Cash in hand, his mission is crystal clear. Before he regressed, his mom never got to experience a single day of true happiness. But this time around, everything changes. He signs the lease on a sweet new apartment, paying all the bills up front. Fast forward to Sunday, May 24th. It's 8 p.m. in their brand new spot. His mom is cooking up dinner, softly humming a happy tune. He just stands there watching her in silence, feeling completely at peace seeing her so relaxed. Later that night, chilling in his own room, he starts brainstorming his next real estate move. "That's a wrap. I've leveled up, unlocked a brand new class, and as long as that scumbag rots behind bars, I can finally breathe easy." You can't plot cold-blooded revenge when your mind's a mess. Tomorrow, I'm heading back to the academy. Finally, I can track down that specific item. Without missing a beat, he grabs a jagged stone, carving it down with razor-sharp precision, shaping it into a sleek bracelet that snaps perfectly onto his wrist. The Demon Stone, a brutal weapon practically humming with insane magical energy. Cut to a completely different scene. A crew of shadowy figures strides into a massive training facility. One of the lackeys glazes up their boss. "Young master, your progress is totally off the charts." Arthur just stands there stone cold as a girl runs up, offering him a water bottle. But he viciously swats it away, sending it crashing to the floor. "While I still have the time, I'm heading right back into the demon cave." "To keep grinding," he snaps. Deep down, one absolute truth echoes in his mind. Nobody is going to outplay me in the combat simulator trials. Nobody. They'll all witness who the real prodigy is. And his massive ego actually makes sense. He just hit level 3, a rank officially unlocking the Deadly Assassin class. Meanwhile, an icy instructor stands by a massive window glaring down at a glowing digital report. She scoffs. Not a single one of this year's newly awakened rolled a gold-tier class. There's zero reason to expect anything hype from the simulator. Flash forward to the next morning. Our boy is crushing breakfast in their brand new apartment. Chewing at lightning speed, he mumbles, "Mom, why didn't you wake me up?" She just flashes him the warmest, sweetest smile. "You look so deeply asleep, I completely lost the heart to disturb you. Slow down, sweetie. The world won't end." If you're a little late just this once, he freezes mid-bite. It suddenly hits him like a truck. And he literally hasn't slept that peacefully, or shared a quiet morning with his mom in what feels like lifetimes. Suddenly, she gently taps his shoulder, making him flinch. "Everything okay?" he asks. She hesitates for a split second. "Is there anything special you want? New games, books, maybe some tech?" He lets out a surprised chuckle. "What's the vibe, Mom? You suddenly trying to spoil me?" Smiling softly, she points straight at the wall calendar. "Next Friday is your birthday." Boom! The words hit him hard. June 5th, his birthday. After his mom was brutally taken from him in his past life, nobody ever threw him a party again. And honestly, he had totally erased the date from his own memory. Now he's sitting there wondering what he actually wants. But deep down, a dark, crystal-clear answer bubbles up. "My next move is locking in my ultimate goal. I'm going to obliterate him." Cut to the academy later that day. The instructor barks at the chaotic classroom. "All right, listen up, you pathetic little hatchlings. The moment for live-fire combat in the simulator is finally here. This is your grand debut since your awakenings, and your official graduation exam completely live-streamed. But here's the ultimate flex. Whoever dominates the leaderboards secures an exclusive ticket to the Elite Prep Division training camp." He smirks. "This is your biggest and straight-up easiest shortcut to networking with the Sacred Guild. The top dogs will travel straight to Shanghai, their main headquarters." Hearing that cursed name, our MC goes dead silent. That's the exact place he met his mentor, and it's the current turf of the absolute monster he needs to destroy, to hunt him down. He has to totally carry this exam. It's the absolute fastest glitch to get close and settle the blood debt. Nearby, 2 random NPCs are totally stressing. "Bro, the clash is literally this Friday. I'm so hyped, but terrified," the other mutters back. "Rumor has it we're dropping into the demon cave. Are we actually going to survive that?" The instructor aggressively points at the exit. "Training starts right now. Phase 1, brutal physical conditioning. Get inside the gravity room and run 10 agonizing laps." One overly hyped try-hard screams that he's going to crush 20 laps. Our MC casually steps up in line, giving him major side-eye. But the second he reaches the front, he stops dead in his tracks. He stares the instructor down and speaks with ice-cold confidence. "Professor, I'm hard passing on this training room." The entire class totally loses their minds, gasping at the sheer audacity. The professor glares daggers at him. There's a growling that he already knows all about his little beef with Arthur last week, but warns him not to get a big head. Just because you managed to clap a red class player doesn't give you a free pass to ditch the grind, but our boy doesn't even flinch. He calmly demands a customized training routine. The professor slowly raises an eyebrow, sneering, as he demands to know what exactly he means by that. It's painfully obvious the instructor thinks this arrogant kid is totally mocking his teaching methods and conditioning drills, but the MC just coldly replies that physical grinding is basic survival for most awakened, and throwing them in the gravity room isn't technically wrong. However, he casually drops these hardcore agility runs only actually buff classes, built entirely around speed and reflex mechanics like brawlers or stealth mains. It's totally useless for the rest of us. He effortlessly schools the teacher, pointing out that mages and spellcasters would actually scale way faster by grinding in the elemental chamber, where they can absolutely master their abilities. He points out that since everyone's stats and combat styles are totally unique, the training method needs a custom upgrade too. The instructor, clearly sweating bullets, asks him what on earth he's talking about, looking like he's being schooled on how to do his own job. The class president quietly watches the whole exchange drop, instantly realizing this strategy lines up flawlessly with the one pitched by Yang, that top-tier officer from the Sacred Legion. It was a brand new concept, and she only knew about it because her dad spilled the tea. So her jaw practically drops, seeing our main guy casually dropping. The exact same big brain logic. Right then, the glasses kid slides over, whispering frantically to Alexis to dial it back. Even if he's spitting facts, he warns him the instructor is a hardcore veteran and deserves some basic respect. But the heavy tension snaps the second the teacher gives our boy a solid pat on the shoulder. He admits the kid's blueprint sounds super promising, but keeps it real with a class this packed. Pulling off custom training routines in record time would be a massive headache. His tone goes dead serious. The combat simulation is their absolute final hurdle for graduation, and one slip-up on his end could literally nuke a student's entire future. So, making the call between hand-holding them or letting them fly solo is an insanely heavy burden to carry. Our guy goes quiet for a split second, flashing back to his previous life. Despite all the brutal family drama, he always had goated mentors who pushed him to level up and kept him from going off the rails. Driven by that memory, he looks the instructor dead in the eye and tells him he trusts him completely, and promises he won't flop the final exam. The teacher gives a tight nod, demanding to know his exact game plan for training, throwing out a quick reminder that he just awakened as a literal nuclear warrior. Without missing a beat, our protagonist suggests cranking the elemental suppression room up to the absolute max, pointing right at it like a boss. His classmates are left utterly shook. To chill them out, he smoothly claims he's just trying to balance his stats and push his weaknesses to the absolute limit. But deep down, he knows the real deal. There's zero chance he can leak his actual goal power leveling his hidden secondary class as a mage, a wildly overpowered secret he's keeping locked down. Right then, he glances up just as the fiery redhead steps up, announcing she wants in on that hardcore elemental control too, flexing the fact that she's a legit mage. The instructor just sighs in defeat, giving them the green light with one strict rule: do not make him look like a fool. When the final evaluation drops, right after the redhead slides up to our main guy pitching the idea to party up for training, but he shuts her down cold, making it crystal clear he's booking a solo room. She keeps pushing, asking if it wouldn't be way more optimal to grind as a duo, but he literally just ghosts her mid-conversation. They both march into the training zone while the glasses kid watches nervously from the sidelines, desperately scanning for an escape route. Unfortunately, the instructor shadows him, claps a heavy hand on his shoulder, and totally crushes his dreams. There is no running away. A hot minute later, we cut straight to the inside of Alexis's private room, where he's going all out casting spells. He realizes he's way too hardwired to brawl like a warrior, and as a mage, he's basically a total beginner who desperately needs to speedrun his progress. Plus, this has to stay strictly off the radar because the Academy is basically a puppet for the higher-ups, and even a slight glitch in the Matrix would instantly put him on their hit list. If they clock his dual-class status, he'd be dead meat. That's exactly why he's putting up major walls, icing out everyone, even his own squad. Meanwhile, in a different zone, the fiery redhead is sweating it out, fiercely hyping herself up that she will never let him outshine her. Once classes wrap, our boy is rolling his bike toward the gates, totally ignoring his classmates screaming his name in the background. He doesn't even pump the brakes, just picking up the pace. A sudden flashback hits him in his previous life. Those two were his ultimate ride or dies. The trio used to get brutally bullied, hanging on to each other every single afternoon, just trying to survive the walk home. Those chaotic days were low-key the happiest moments of his teenage years. But right now, the whole vibe has flipped, because he is hard-locked on pure revenge. Any useless attachments would just drag down his entire mission. He hops on his bike, fully ready to bounce. Back in the dust, his buddy in the green shirt groans in massive frustration, complaining that this is literally the second time he's ditched them like this, just like last Friday. He honestly thought their squad was unbreakable, but the glasses kid playing it smart points out the obvious: their boy has definitely leveled up. Since his awakening, he's basically oozing pure confidence, and honestly, a guy cruising on wheels doesn't exactly have to wait up for the walking crew. Out of nowhere, the protagonist teleports right back into their faces, calling out the glasses kid with a random piece of advice he seriously needs to get his lungs checked as soon as possible. That weirdly specific comment leaves him totally shook, while the green shirt buddy just grins like an absolute maniac, completely hyped up. He claimed he was just waiting around so they could head home together. But without another word, our guy hops back on his bike, pedals off, and drops a freezing parting shot. "You guys will never catch up to me." The dude in the green shirt snaps, accusing him of sticking around just to flex on them. He swears up and down that if he wasn't totally gassed from running, that he'd chase him down and smoke him in a second. Glasses guy just pushes up his frames and calmly points out, "Dude, you only ran 6 laps. His buddy fires back, completely offended. "Oh, like you did any better?" Meanwhile, our main character cruises away, completely lost in his memories. He remembers how in his past life the guy with glasses developed a severe lung condition, dropped out of school, and passed away right after. That's exactly why he silently prays, even if they aren't tight in this timeline, and that the kid just gets to live a long, healthy life. Back in the distance, the duo just watches him fade down the street. Green shirt is still salty, muttering about how he has no idea why their classmate turned so incredibly cold. But his buddy just smiles softly. Sure, the guy has changed, but deep down, he feels like he's still the exact same person. Cut to Shanghai. We're at the rookie training grounds. Chilling on the sidelines, someone is just sitting there, curiously dropping rumors about a fresh recruit joining the Celestial Guild. A rookie whose stats were completely off the charts. He straight up asks if this guy is the one smashing all the records. Standing right next to him is the exact target our hero has been hunting down. The guy just sighs annoyed and casually states he's only here to drop off a report. The camera shifts back to our main character's house. It's Thursday, May 25th. He's grabbing dinner with his mom. Playing it totally cool, he tells her to avoid going out alone, promising he'll be home super early. He even volunteers to handle all the grocery runs. But inside, the anxiety is eating him alive. He knows this isn't enough. He desperately needs to lock down this situation fast to guarantee his mom's safety. Meanwhile, deep inside the awakened prison, the inmates are flooding into the cafeteria, hiding in the crowd. The father grabs his grub just like the rest of them, but as he steps up to the guy serving the slop, he smoothly slides a wad of cash across the counter. He whispers that he's leaving the whole operation in his hands. The server doesn't even blink. Without drawing an ounce of attention, he mutters back, "Relax." Everything is fully set up. He's walking out of there tomorrow. Fast forward to Tuesday at the academy. Our boy is grinding solo in his dorm room, completely zoned in. At this point, and he's already mastered the raw basics of magic and completely figured out how mages tick. Now, his absolute priority is slashing down his spellcasting times. He needs to calculate the exact elemental output with 0 errors. Meanwhile, over in the training hall, Greenshirt is running like a total maniac. Sweating bullets, he swears to himself that he's crushing 10 sets today. The next afternoon, post-workout glasses guy and Greenshirt roll up, asking our hero to grab some dinner. He politely shoots them down, explaining he's got to rush straight home. The rejection totally throws the boys off, but our guy doesn't miss a beat. He looks right at Greenshirt and drops a hard truth as a marksman. But the windup before triggering his skill takes way too damn long. He seriously needs to grind out his prep movements if he wants to survive. The advice hits home. Greenshirt is hyped, looking genuinely thankful for the massive tip. Come Thursday after classes wrap up, we shift over to the campus clinic. Glasses guy is sitting on the edge of the bed, hanging on to every word from the doctor. The doc looks dead serious, explaining that coming in was the smartest move he could have made. Getting that lung scan done so early, it literally saved him. Because tumors like this can spread like absolute wildfire, the doc strongly urges him to book the surgery ASAP. He promises that once they cut it out, he'll be perfectly fine. Overwhelmed, the kid thanks him and locks in a surgery date for next week. As he leaves, it suddenly hits him. It was our main character who aggressively pushed him to get this checkup. The realization creeps him out. How the hell did he know? And why did his whole personality flip overnight? Right after that, while heading down the stairs, he eavesdrops on a squad of students gossiping. One of them casually mentions that Arthur has been cheating the system again. Saying he's already hit category in level 4, he's practically guaranteed to crush everyone in the upcoming exams. Another guy, totally mind-blown, asks how he even pulled that off, reminding everyone that normally you'd have to grind in a demonic dungeon to level up that fast. His buddy quickly clears it up. Arthur's ridiculously rich family owns BTC and private VIP dungeons that they strictly use to train their own private army. Oh, and he drops a bomb. Arthur is planning to teach someone a brutal lesson today. He's coming straight for the kid who dared to provoke him last Friday. The second student just scoffs, saying he knew the peace wouldn't last. A psycho like Arthur was never going to take a loss without striking back. The first guy nods, totally convinced. This time Arthur is insanely prepared, and he's probably going to wipe that kid off the map for good. That very same day, the moment the kid with glasses catches wind of this, he doesn't waste a single second. He instantly scrambles to gear up. It's like he's trying to rewrite destiny. He never should have poked the bear. But right now, the only thing that matters is making it there in time to back up Alexis. He knows they're throwing down off campus, and that screams absolute disaster. We're talking a straight-up ambush, a totally rigged setup. There could be a whole squad lurking in the shadows, just waiting to jump him. But Four Eyes isn't delusional. Sure, his backup might be totally useless, but the MC literally saved his life and gave him a second chance. That's all the reason he needs. Even if it costs him everything, he's going to pull him out of the fire. Just hold on. Alexis' backup is on the way. He slams the brakes in front of a heavy locked door. Four Eyes freezes up for a split second. What the hell is he even doing trying to bust into the armory? He's spent his entire life dodging toxic people and heavy drama. But then, the flashback hits. The exact moment our hero pulled him from the brink. That memory completely rewires his brain, shattering every ounce of doubt. Snap! He completely wrecks the padlock, kicks the door wide open, and marches in without looking back. If he's going to get wiped out today, fine. But he absolutely refuses to be a bystander anymore. Deep inside, his hands lock onto a heavy battle axe. But suddenly, a voice freezes him right. The kid goes stiff as a board. He slowly turns around and locks eyes with her. It's the redhead girl. She glares right through him, demanding the truth. What the hell is going down, and why is he rushing like a maniac? But he ignores her completely. He totally blows past her, sprinting full speed as he yells out, tossing back the only answer that matters. He has to go save Alexis. The girl is left standing there, absolutely paralyzed and shell-shocked by what she just heard. Cut to a brand new scene. Our MC is strolling down the street, casually pushing his bike. But don't let the chill vibe fool you. Out of nowhere, he slices through the dead silence, barking an order for the creep in the shadows to show their face. He makes it crystal clear he knows this stalker has been tailing him all the way from campus. Now he wants answers. What's the catch? Stepping straight out of the darkness, Arturo reveals himself. He flashes this seriously forced, strained smirk. He's here for payback. Time to settle the brutal score from last weekend. Our MC doesn't even blink. He just stares him down and asks, "Do you honestly think you can take me down now?" He doesn't get words, he gets straight violence. Arturo launches himself forward at breakneck speed, screaming that all his insane grinding wasn't for nothing. His blade swings high, aiming for a deadly blindside strike, but it hits pure air. In a fraction of a millisecond, our hero whips out his dagger. With one vicious backhanded swipe, he completely shatters Arturo's sword in half. The shockwave leaves his rival frozen in pure terror. It's not just the block, it's the sheer power gap. The difference in their levels is absolutely insane now. Our hero shoots him a dead-eyed glare, making it painfully obvious you're not the only one who leveled up. And right after that, things get incredibly brutal. He flawlessly spins the dagger, snatches Arturo by the throat, slams him into the concrete, and buries the blade less than an inch from his face. Pinned down and totally helpless, reality finally slaps Arturo in the face. No matter how crazy his grind is, no matter how many times he tries, this dude, the exact same age as him, is an absolute monster he will never outclass. Arturo stares up at him, his voice trembling and totally cracking. His mind is completely broken. Did you really push your limits even further? He's practically begging to know his rank and how the hell he pulled it off. He's completely in denial. He's been bleeding and sweating for hours after school, literally killing himself just to hit level 4. And yet he cannot process how this guy just walks all over him like it's nothing. Alexis just lets the silence hang there. Cool as ice, he pulls the dagger out of the concrete and casually traces it right against Arturo's throat like it's just another Tuesday. Then he drops the absolute coldest line. "Oh, so you worked really hard, huh? Tell me, have you ever died?" Arturo completely loses his mind. His frustration boils over and he just explodes. "Shut up with the cryptic trash. You've got me, so just do it. End me, torture me, whatever. You've always treated me like absolute garbage. Like I'm completely worthless." The MC slowly lowers the blade, tapping it against Arturo's shoulder, his dead-eyed stare never breaking. "You're right, but I actually don't hate you all that much. You're the one who stalked me all the way out here. And yet, you didn't set up a dirty trap or call for a gang to back you up. You rolled up completely solo just to see how you stacked up against me. Isn't that right?" The blonde brawler grinds his teeth, his blood absolutely boiling. "Cut the bull. Just finish me off right now, because I swear to God, one day I'm going to be the one who destroys you. But don't you ever run your mouth while looking at me like that again. Are we crystal clear?" The leader freezes. He scans the room, chewing on his next move, before finally spitting out a reply. "Never mind, I take it all back. I think I genuinely despise you." The camera cuts. Glasses guy pops up right beside the fiery redhead. Tracking our MC and his rival, he mutters under his breath. "Get a load of that. Looks like we won't need to jump in after all." Our white-haired MC locks his icy gaze back onto the wrecked opponent bleeding out on the floor. Tunnel vision. Like absolutely nothing else in the universe even existed. "I've been waiting for you. How about a little trade? I can forge you into something insanely fast and lethal, but in exchange, it's going to cost you." Flash forward to Friday, May 29th, Judgment Day. The instructor towers over the dead silent crowd of students. He commands absolute obedience without uttering a single syllable. Boot camp is officially over. The combat sim kicks off right now, but get this through your thick skulls first. We call it a simulation, but that maze out there, it is terrifyingly real. He lets that sink in, scanning the room to ensure everyone is sweating. A heavy-duty barrier is suppressing the worst of its magic, but it is still a death trap. Vicious magic beasts are crawling in there, so do not play hero. Know your limits. Elite upperclassmen will be your chaperones. They won't carry you through fights, but they'll pull you out if things go completely south. Barely pausing for a breath, he drops the next bombshell. You're splitting into squads of 4 or 5 each, shadowed by a senior mentor. Now you get a choice. Rank F or Rank E dungeons. Let me be blunt. Rank E is an absolute meat grinder. Unless you're built different, I strongly suggest you back off. Flunking this means torching all your academy credits. Gone. Finally, he throws down the gauntlet. Hands up if you're psycho enough to tackle Rank E. The redhead Arthurin and a handful of tryhards instantly shoot their hands up. Glasses guy side-eyes the flex and whispers to his bro. Damn the ego on them. Skipping straight into the E-tier slaughterhouse. His buddy sighs, totally defeated. Man, if my class wasn't so completely useless, I'd be up there flexing with them. Out of 180 students, only 8 actually lock in that suicidal choice. The redhead silently shoots a glance at our MC, totally baffled to see his hand isn't raised with the elite squad. The instructor barks again. "All right, the rest of you scrubs are getting randomly tossed into Rank F." But just as the dust settles, Alexis lazily raises his hand, chill as ice. "Hold up a sec, teach. I'm calling dibs on the school's Rank D dungeon." The entire courtyard drops their jaws. Crickets. The teacher glares at the white-haired kid like he sprouted a second head. Stripping away any professional filter, he fires right back. "Are you out of your damn mind? No sane rookie is pulling a stunt like that." Into a Rank D hellscape. Juan steps up, immediately slamming the door shut on that ridiculous idea with a brutal tone. He barks that it's a hard no, calling those higher-tier zones guaranteed suicide runs. Only fully awakened upperclassmen or elites even have the security clearance to step foot inside. Alexis doesn't even blink. Smooth as butter, he points out a massive loophole in the Academy's precious rulebook. "Show me where it bans taking on a harder challenge. The combat sim clearly states we pick our own poison." Then he hits them with the facts. Isn't the whole point of this fancy school to scout raw elite talent for the sacred guild? He rattles off their core values. Courage, pure strength, responsibility, raw talent. Tipping his head with a cheeky, arrogant smirk, he directly targets the headmaster. "Seems like you're just too scared to let me actually prove my worth." Juan instantly bites back, totally triggered. He roars that clearing a dungeon like that strictly requires a fully stacked squad. Without skipping a beat, our MC drops a nuke. "I'll solo it." The headmaster physically recoils from the sheer disrespect. Regaining his footing, he snaps. "That blatantly violates protocol. Solo raids are strictly blacklisted, so you arrogant brats don't get yourselves killed." Right then, Laura shoots her hand into the air. Her voice shatters the dead silence. "I'm locking in Rank D with him." Every single eye in the room locks onto her. The principal is absolutely losing his mind, demanding an explanation right then and there, straight up asking if she's out of her mind and hammering home the brutal fallout if she ends up getting hurt. The redhead claps back with zero hesitation. She makes it crystal clear she wants that top-tier grade, and she's totally down to risk it. Juan practically boils over at her stubbornness. Alexis just watches her in dead silence, until she shoots him a slick, knowing wink. But then our boy raises his hand and shuts it down. He's flying solo. Boom, the scene cuts. The redhead instantly catches an attitude from the rejection, her frustration totally leaking out. The teacher jumps in fast, trying to cool her off, swearing that Alexis wasn't trying to be toxic about it. The principal, he's officially out of patience. He goes off on their reckless vibes, demanding to know what's wrong with them, reminding them it's barely been one single week since their awakening, yet they're acting like untouchable gods. Seeing this going nowhere, the teacher finally pulls the trigger on a call. He locks it in the rank D squad will just be the two of them, and drops the harsh truth no upperclassman is going to risk their neck carrying them. Right on cue, a guy who had been dead silent chilling next to the staff, rocking a heavy chain around his neck, throws a hand up. Flashing a cocky smirk, he volunteers as tribute, claiming that at the end of the day, the delicate flowers of tomorrow need a real shield. The teacher breathes a massive sigh of relief and greenlights it. Knowing it's Sigilfredo, he can finally chill out. The redhead's jaw basically drops seeing him join the squad. She leans into Alexis, whispering that Sigilfredo was literally about to get drafted into the school's elite alpha squad. Our protagonist just processes that quietly, wondering what the hype is about this so-called elite D squad and Sigilfredo himself, a name that means absolutely zero to him. Meanwhile, Chainboy already made his judgment. To him, Alexis is just a flashy peacock, desperate to flex his feathers without having a clue about his own limits. Finally, the teacher locks eyes with the portal and kicks off the trial. He breaks it down, teams are set, so we dive straight in. Inside the maze, hidden cameras will live stream every second, capturing the whole grind on tape. He hypes them up to go all out, dropping the ultimate cliffhanger. Who's going to snatch the crown this season? Honestly, it's a massive secret, but this awakened high school is built straight on top of a colossal dungeon, co-run by the middle and high school divisions. Deep down in that underground abyss, a smaller low-tier pocket spawned, the absolute perfect training ground for rookies. Most of the threats hover around rank F and D. The very second someone steps foot into the zone, the combat simulation triggers instantly, no loading screens. But get this, nothing flies under the radar in there. Every single trial is broadcast live, and every flex is caught on camera. That's exactly why our boy is playing it cool. He knows he can't expose his full kit against an unknown threat. Plus, being inside the spiritual jade dungeon, he's dead set on bagging the hidden loot waiting inside. After stepping through, the squad pushes through a dense, creepy forest. Mid-walk, Sigilfredo breaks the dead air. Don't sweat it, I'll be your meat shield. Even if things get spicy, we're solid. I've cleared this place before with someone else. The redhead, totally curious, asks about the monster scaling. He replies without missing a beat. Normally they hover between rank 5E and 5D. The absolute units of the school dungeon got sealed away, so bumping into top-tier beasts is super rare. There's no main boss lurking around either. Still, do not sleep on the rank E mobs. Sometimes their levels spike. They're insanely fast and their raw damage is brutal. You guys are literally just out of the Awakening tutorial. Against them, you'd be nothing but squishy noobs. I'll scout out some easy targets so you can farm some points. Anyway, chill. As long as your big bro is here, you're safe. Sigilfredo shoots a sideways glare at Alexis. But our guy completely ghosts him, marching straight ahead and leaving them in the dust. Instantly, Chainboy snaps. Hold up. Why are you rushing in? If you aggro the mobs right now, they're gonna... He doesn't even get to finish his sentence. Our main guy cuts him off completely ice cold. You run your mouth way too much, you know that. Zip it for a second. I definitely don't need you sticking your nose in my business. Those words hit like a brutal left hook. Sigilfredo literally shakes with blind rage, but he bites his tongue as the squad pushes forward in dead silence. Meanwhile, the camera pans straight out of the dungeon. Don't forget these trials are live streamed to the masses, with a huge crowd glued to massive jumbo screens. Even the Academy's top brass is hardcore micromanaging every single move these students make. Deep inside the ultra-elite Supreme Squadron Lounge, the vice captain is glued to his phone streaming the entire event. Not even blinking, he calls out, "Captain, you gotta check this out. This live stream is about to get insanely spicy." One of the first-year rookies actually locked in a rank D dungeon. "For real?" she gasps, completely caught off guard. "What's his class?" The vice captain flashes a wicked smirk. "That's exactly why you need to watch this. He's literally just a green warrior. A total noob, basically bottom of the barrel tier. I seriously want to know where he gets this insane level of confidence." Boom. Hard cut to a rank F maze. We spot some nerdy guy totally shaking in his boots, scrambling backwards and screaming, "Stay the hell away from me!" Classic move. He's cowering dead last in the back line, totally throwing his squad mates under the bus to tank the frontline monsters. The girl next to him just side-eyes him deadpan. "You're literally just a bard. Just do your job and spam those support buffs from the back." But honestly, why is he tripping so hard? The squad is only facing basic mob trash like the Flame Bat and the Feral Cat. Both are literally level F, but apparently that's enough to send this dude into a full-blown panic attack. Flash forward to a rank E maze where the enemies are a toxic mix of level E and level F threats. We're talking Savage Fangs and Astral Tigers. A bunch of battered students are slumped on the dirt while their healer desperately patches up their HP, just trying to keep everyone from flatlining. Right in the middle of this train wreck sits Arthur looking absolutely livid. He finally snaps, "If you guys are too scared to deal damage, step aside. I'll wipe them out myself." Without even waiting for a thumbs up, he totally YOLO charges the horde. Daggers drawn, his eyes burning with one obsessive thought. "I swear I'm going to completely surpass you, Alexis." Fast forward a bit, and the camera snaps right back to our main boy's dungeon. There he is going head-to-head with these absolute units known as rabbits. These rank E-level 6 beasts are dropping like flies, and he's already racked up an insane kill streak along with crazy high points. The redhead is totally mind-blown. Dude, how are you even pulling this off, Alexis? His eyes stay laser-focused on the creepy spider mobs as he replies with pure chill. These mobs are nerfed. They're literally locked out of half their actual stats, making this whole run a total cakewalk. She frowns, still not buying it. Yeah, but still, you literally just soloed that entire wave. The skill gap between us is just totally insane. Our guy shoots her a calm, grounding look and says, "Stop measuring your stats against everyone else. Just focus on your own grind." That actually gets a genuine smile out of her, totally reigniting her drive to pop off. Meanwhile, Sigilfredo is lurking in the background, watching this go down. He's literally boiling over. Watching our MC flex so effortlessly is driving him absolutely crazy. So he rudely butts in. "Don't get a big head, all right. This is still a rank D raid. Stop acting like you've got this whole map on lockdown. You better watch your back. Sure, your DPS is decent, but it's literally your first time stepping inside a real dungeon. Plus, we're dealing with a triple layer setup, so things are going to get super messy. Since I'm the mentor here, let me drop some actual strategies on you guys." But our boy completely ignores him. Without even sparing him a single glance, he points right. "Laura, intercept those mobs rushing from that side. I'll clear out the entire left flank." The map suddenly opens up, revealing a massive sealed cave dead ahead of them, and an absolute swarm of hostile mobs starts zeroing in on their position. Sigilfredo looks ready to pop a blood vessel. Getting totally ghosted is literally eating him alive, but our MC completely unfazed. "The ones on the right are low-tier trash. You can solo them." Laura's eyes bug out of her head. "Wait, me by myself?" He gives a hard nod. "The whole point of this raid is testing our solo stats. If you logged into this trial, now's your time to prove you can carry your own weight. Because you want that perfect score, right?" The redhead takes a sharp breath, her eyes blazing with resolve. "I get it. I can pull this off." Just a few yards away, Sigilfredo grips his bow until his knuckles turn white, glaring daggers straight at Alexis. A dark, silent threat brews in his head. "You brushed off my offer when I played nice. So now I'm going to force you to choke it down the hard way." The camera cuts to the academy, where the instructors are glued to the monitors, hyper-focused on the students' every move. One instructor shakes his head in absolute awe. This Alexis kid is seriously insane. He literally just wiped out every single E-rank monster on the field. Another teacher leans in, totally stunned. "Wait, what level is he sitting at right now?" The first guy doesn't even blink, his eyes locked on the screen. On paper, he's still an E1, but honestly, those stats don't add up anymore. He's got to be pushing E3, maybe even E4. But that's not even the craziest part. Look at his strategy. He took the mob on the left all by himself, leaving the right side wide open for Laura. He instantly clocked the elemental matchups. He practically spoon-fed those star attribute mobs to Laura, giving her plant magic the ultimate upper hand. This whole exam was rigged to test solo survival skills, but this guy, he's running the absolute perfect co-op strat. His map awareness is just off the charts. The head drill instructor suddenly flashes back to an earlier conversation. He remembers the kid looking him dead in the eye, asking for pure trust. The instructor smirks to himself. That kid wasn't just flexing, he actually backed it up. Now he can't wait to see just how far this wild card is going to push the limits. Cutting back to the main action, our boy is out here absolutely dismantling the monster horde. He mentally pieces it together. "I spotted those star attribute freaks crawling out of the right side tunnel a minute ago. They're low-tier trash, making them total glass cannons against plant magic." The camera then pivots over to Laura. After wrecking a whole squad of spiders, she gracefully sidesteps the next wave and instantly summons a massive wall of razor-sharp vines. The roots snag the spider midair. The redhead triggers her toxic spores, melting the beast down. She smirks, totally vibing with her own power trip. Watching from the shadows, Alexis nods. When a mage hits E rank, they unlock a core class skill. For Laura, it's nature manipulation, weaving up barricades dripping with lethal toxins. But what really blows his mind is how ice-cold she's been against these higher-tier nightmares ever since they dropped into this dungeon. She corners them, chokes out their mobility, and snipes them with absolute zero hesitation. It just proves one thing. The girl is a straight-up prodigy. The white-haired badass suddenly halts right in front of the sealed cavern, sizing up the situation. "All right, so..." The D-rank heavy hitters are still locked up tight. Honestly, the mobs we've got right now are a total cakewalk. Plus, with the live stream running, I can totally keep my real stats flying under the radar, all while bagging a killer score. But still, the prickling sensation of being watched never leaves him. Those damn cameras track every breath. And there's the nagging thought that someone else slipped into the maze with them. He narrows his eyes, dying to know exactly how that shadow player is going to pull off the next phase of their twisted little game. Meanwhile, Sigilfredo is practically fuming. It pisses him off to the core that this arrogant punk is treating him like a ghost. He's supposed to be the mentor here yet. Alexis is just doing his own thing, totally ghosting his authority. Sigilfredo finally snaps. He draws his bowstring, aiming dead center at the girl, and lets it rip. A psychotic smirk creeps onto his face. Let's see how they handle this little surprise. The arrow violently grazes past Laura and vanishes into the pitch-black cave. She whips around. She's totally shook, and this psycho playing it super casual smirks at her. "Relax. I was just trying to buff your stats. Why'd you dodge it, huh?" But before Laura can even spit out a curse, an earth-shattering tremor rocks the cavern. Seconds later, a colossal nightmare drags itself out. A freaking two-headed lion. Alexis locks onto the beast instantly. Laura goes into overdrive, instantly summoning her thickest magical vines. She desperately tries to lock the monster down, but the beast is just pure raw savagery. It shreds through the heavy roots like they're wet paper. In a split second, the monster is right up in her face, roaring a deafening battle cry, jaws wide open for the kill off in the distance. Sigilfredo watches the horror unfold and lets out a twisted, satisfied laugh. He just trapped them with a boss that is way above their pay grade. But right at the breaking point, the vibe completely flips. Our boy Alexis triggers his acceleration skill, cranking his speed up by a massive 50%. Moving like a blur, he vaults right over the giant lion, bringing down a brutal slash, aiming dead center for its first head. But this freak of nature has insane reflexes. Its second head violently snaps back toward Laura, jaws unhinged, ready to swallow her whole. Not wasting a single heartbeat, our guy triggers his flash step. He straight up vanishes, only to materialize right in front of the beast's second head. Bam, he intercepts the monster with a perfectly angled sword slash. Hitting the ground like a total boss, he stands tall with his blade raised, acting as a flawless human shield for the girl. Cutting to the sidelines, Sigilfredo smirks like an absolute psycho. He knows every single inch of this twisted labyrinth. Sure, most rank D beasts are locked away, but he knows the dark truth about this cave. That two-headed freak of nature always finds a way to regenerate. So, he could care less about how confident that duo looks right now. At the end of the day, they're just completely clueless rookies. Totally green newbies who literally just unlock their powers. He's dying to watch them get absolutely wrecked by a rank D monster, especially since he secretly juiced up the beast with his own crazy skills. The camera pans out, dropping a massive bombshell. That glowing arrow Sigilfredo fired earlier, it slashed the beast's gravity by 10 times, insanely buffing its speed and raw, destructive power. Boom! The lion is now officially the fastest mutant of its kind. Meanwhile, staring down this nightmare, our main guy actually hesitates. For a split second, he debates whether to drop his disguise and unleash his full arsenal. Keeping his eyes dead locked on the threat, he barks at the redhead. Fall back. You're way out of your league with this thing. But the lion isn't playing around. It lunges right at them. And Laura? She doesn't even flinch. She summons a massive wall of vines that completely dead stops the beast trapping it without a second to breathe. She spams her skill a second time, locking the vines down even harder. Our hero just stares at her, totally shook. Stepping up to the plate, she looks him dead in the eye and declares, "I can fight right beside you. I am not going to be dead weight, not even against a rank D monster. Let me take this thing down with you." Watching from the shadows, Sigilfredo is straight up malfunctioning. Like, bro, a minute ago, this exact lion was inches away from turning her into a snack. And now she's begging to throw hands. Alexis stays quiet for a beat before finally speaking up. "I seriously thought you'd be frozen in pure terror after that near-death experience. But you bounce back insanely fast." She doesn't even blink, hitting him with pure, unbreakable resolve. "Obviously, I've grinded way too hard to let myself be that helpless ever again. Plus, I just know that as long as you're here, I'm not going to die." He gives her a chill warning. Our white-haired MVP totally caught that she just stacked 3 skill layers at the exact. Your elemental energy isn't infinite, you know? Don't go burning through your mana like crazy. She fires back that she knows exactly what she's doing. Watching her flex, our guy suddenly gets hit with a heavy flashback to his past life. Back in the day, Laura was the absolute it girl since middle school. Super confident, always glowing, and insanely generous. Nobody knew a thing about her mysterious family, but she still treated everyone like gold. She had the class rep title on lock, always keeping that boss-level hyper-responsible energy intact. And then, she just vanished off his radar. Poof. She ghosted everyone to live a completely basic low-key life. But right here, right now, she has evolved into an absolute powerhouse he can actually rely on. As long as no wild plot twists drop, Alexis knows he can easily keep his overpowered stats a secret and breeze right through this exam. Meanwhile, lurking in the back, Sigilfredo glares at them completely disgusted. Do these losers actually think they can solo this? That pathetic little weed wall is going to get shredded in 2 seconds flat. Newsflash, kids, you can't win a bloodbath just by acting tough. With garbage skills like that, there is 0 chance they survive against a maxed out rank D monster. And when they're crawling on their knees begging me to save them, that's when I'll teach them how to worship their betters. Just like the villain predicted, the mutant lion shreds through the vines like wet paper. He's going to play bait. Since this freak is a core element beast, Laura has to snipe it at the exact perfect millisecond. She gives a sharp nod, and the duo instantly splits up, dodging in completely opposite directions. Alexis knows exactly how this plays out. Since he was the one who drew first blood, the monster is 100% locked onto him. The shot cuts to the nearby lake. Sprinting to lure the beast, he dives straight into the dark water. Taking the bait, the lion launches itself off the edge, crashing ferociously into the lake right after him. Alexis swims like a torpedo, while the monstrous feline ruthlessly stalks its prey through the water. Suddenly, our hero yells out to the redhead, screaming that it's go time. And man, she does not miss a beat. He triggers the nature wall, locking that massive lion dead in its tracks, before yanking it straight out of the water. Thick vines pull tight, suspending the beast high in the air. A deafening roar shakes the cavern, but the girl just doubles down. She beefs up that thorny prison, sealing it shut with brutal force. The monster absolutely loses its mind, thrashing wildly, but only for a split second. Then dead stop. It's completely trapped. Its massive body goes limp as the lethal venom courses through its veins. Right on cue, our guy bursts from the water. He locks eyes with the helpless beast and says it straight. Game over, you're not going anywhere. Now all that's left is clearing this boss room and snagging that flawless high score. Meanwhile, Sigilfredo is absolutely freezing up his jaw, practically hitting the floor as he processes the scene. The dude is shook. Only one thought is looping in his brain. How the hell did some basic weed wall completely overpower a boss-tier lion? Even he wouldn't have stood a chance against that thing. And the kicker, he had literally juiced up that monster with his own raw energy. Cut to the instructor's room, where the proctors are glued to the screens. The guy in the hat finally shatters the silence, breaking it down. He points out that the lion is a core fire beast, meaning the second it hit the water, its stats tank to absolute 0. On the flip side, the nature element gets a massive buff in that exact environment. By perfectly stacking opposite elemental matchups and pulling off flawless teamwork, these rookies completely clapped a high-tier monster. He hypes up our boy's split-second reflexes and insane shot calling. It's god tier, he mutters. As far as he's concerned, that #1 rank is already locked in. The female proctor nods in total agreement. They just need to drop the hammer, she says. One final strike to finish the beast off. The second that beast flatlines this footage goes straight to the guild's big shot review board. And honestly, they're looking at the most insane record-breaking score in history. But suddenly static. The live feed from the maze totally cuts to black. We pan to the camera smashed to pieces on the dungeon floor. And standing right there, Sigilfredo, smirking like an absolute villain. He's banking on the fact that without video evidence, our duo can kiss that top-tier grade goodbye. Cut back to the underground lake. The monster is permanently out of commission, while our hero and the plant girl stand victorious over its corpse. Alexis breaks the tension, totally hyping up Laura's magic for the win. But she just shakes her head. No way. She says, I was just following your play. Alexis cuts in, pointing out that the real MVP was his brutal elemental resistance training, which let him spam one basic skill in 100 different ways to completely lock down the boss. Right on cue, Sigilfredo swaggers over. He scoffs at the whole elemental resistance thing, acting like it's total trash. He snaps at them. You killed the boss. Quit yapping and save the nerd talk for later. Alexis glares straight through him. Cut the crap, he spits out. You know exactly what it means to secretly buff a D-rank monster while a bunch of noobs are trapped in a dungeon. Sigilfredo scrambles for an excuse. He claims he was trying to shoot the girl with a power-up, but she totally dodged his arrow. Our boy doesn't miss a beat. Oh, so your aim is just straight-up garbage, he mocks. Is that really the best a pro archer can do? Then the redhead steps up, dropping the temperature in the room. She delivers the ultimate burn. Makes sense. No wonder you got rejected from the Supreme Squad. Boom! The vibe instantly turns lethal. Sigilfredo's face twists in pure rage as he readies his bow. For a split second, nobody breathes. They just lock eyes in an intense, deadly standoff. But the coward backs down. He lowers his weapon, breaking the killing intent. This isn't over, he snarls. He promises to show them his true power, warning them to mark his damn words. Not even waiting for a comeback, the salty tutor storms out the exit. Our guy and Laura trail behind him a moment later. But right before crossing the threshold, Alexis spots the shattered camera gear on the floor. He crouches down to inspect the wreckage. The redhead raises an eyebrow. That guy is a walking red flag, she mutters, asking Alexis what he was looking at. Alexis handles the busted lens. Did this loser really smash the feed just to rob us of first place, he thinks to himself. But wait, that means it's a total blind spot in here. Plus, since the tutor already stepped out, he'd need official clearance to re-enter. And anyone else rushing down here would take way too long to reach this dungeon floor. The math is mathing. This is the absolute perfect window of opportunity. A wicked smirk crosses his face. By trying to screw them over, Sigilfredo just handed them a massive favor. Now, our boy finally has the chance to finish exactly what he started. Caught totally off guard, Laura demands some serious answers. Deep inside another section of the maze, the duo approaches the sealed cavern. Our guy tells her to keep her mouth completely shut about what's about to go down. Honestly, even if she spilled the tea, no one would buy it. Freaking out, Laura pushes him to drop his actual master plan. Ignoring her for a hot second, our hero shoves his hand into his pocket, flashing back to his brutal clash with Arthur. That's exactly when he demanded a very specific drop, the seal-breaking stone. An ultra-rare relic belonging to the Instantly, raw energy erupts from the stone and blasts straight toward the entrance. The redhead completely loses it, screaming that this is insane. She snaps that this is a rank D maze, and shattering that seal will unleash a massive wave of high-tier monsters. Unfazed, our MC steps right up to the massive gates and tells her to chill. He breaks it down. The sheer power of those beasts is still totally nerfed by the seal's lingering magic, but she is not letting this go. She points out the obvious. It's literally just the two of them against certain death. Right on cue, a deadly aura engulfs our hero's hand. With absolute zero hesitation, he drops the mic. They aren't fighting as a duo because he is a one-man army. Her jaw hits the floor as she stares at the pure energy radiating off his body, totally shocked by the magic staff now gripped in his hand. She blurts it out, totally baffled. Wait, how the hell can you switch to a mage build? He barely even spares her a glance, before coolly ordering her to hang back by the exit. Right then, the dead silence of the cavern shatters as heavy iron chains snap one by one. Out of nowhere, A vicious pack of lions explodes from the shadows, lunging straight for his throat. Laura reacts on instinct, screaming at him to watch out, but he is already one step ahead. His class instantly swaps to a rank E level 5 Cloud Mage. The beasts pounce in perfect sync, but he triggers his skill. Frost explodes outward like an invisible shockwave, swallowing them whole. In a split second, they are completely flash-frozen into ice sculptures. The redhead is absolutely shook. A red tier class, I barely managed to lock down just one lion, but he just wiped 3 at the exact same time. He shoots her a dead serious glare. These mobs have been chained up way too long in the dark. It's driven them completely feral. They're pushed to absolute max aggro, and they're going to swarm us all at once any second now. I need way more room for an AoE attack. Catching his drift, she silently nods and backs off. The vibe instantly shifts. Deep from the abyss, a new wave of monsters creeps out. But this time, we aren't dealing with... Enter the rank D level 12 Flame Panthers. Our boy immediately starts weaving through their strikes, with pinpoint accuracy reading their attack patterns. Sure, they might be rank D threats, but rotting in chains for ages has sliced their raw stats straight in half. He already knows his massive win condition here is pure crowd control freezing. Going full aggro, he strikes first. Magic surges from him, blasting a massive cold front to instantly paralyze the entire pack. But wait, a terrifying presence suddenly spikes right behind his back. Without skipping a single beat, he class swaps straight into a core warrior. Barely glancing over his shoulder, he effortlessly parries the ambush and counters with a lethal sword slash. The shadow assassin finally steps into the light. It's a level 13 predatory fireblade beast. The monster snaps its fiery jaws, but he straight up vanishes into thin air. A microsecond later, he drops right on top of its blind spot. Boom, he swaps back to the Cloud Mage build, and before it can even twitch, he turns the beast into an absolute block of ice. Laura is frozen in place, her mind totally blown as she tries to process this crazy combo. How the hell is he class swapping that smoothly? Oh, wait, it totally makes sense now. That's exactly why he was dead set on grinding in the elemental chamber. He was maxing out his elemental resistance. The whole core of a mage build is unleashing energy as a pure force of nature, or manipulating elements inside a specific range. She always thought raw power was just about giant mana pools or spamming spells, but nope. Watching his insane playstyle up close, the truth hits her like a truck. The only thing that actually matters is absolute control. Elemental magic is completely wild and reckless, but bringing it to heal, that is a whole different ballgame. Nobody can truly level up unless they absolutely dominate their own element's core energy. Even a basic skill can take on countless forms, yet Alexis has unlocked a level of mastery that straight up breaks reality. Smash cut to the cave where a never-ending swarm of monsters just keeps pouring out of the shadows. But our MC doesn't even blink. He ruthlessly freezes them one by one, zero hesitation, until nothing is left breathing. The battlefield goes dead silent, total lockdown. Laura just stands there in absolute awe. She's totally convinced the MC is radiating that undeniable aura of a hardcore battle-tested veteran. And honestly, she finds him insanely attractive right now. But suddenly, the peace violently shatters. The dungeon boss of the spiritual Jade Cauldron spawns in. It's the Abyss, Mammoth, an absolute unit of a level 15 rank D beast. Our boy doesn't even flinch. He's been waiting for this exact moment. The Mammoth towers over him looking terrifying, but Alexis just smirks and instantly swaps his class to Core Warrior. Only one single thought is echoing in his mind right now. The loot I need is buried deep inside your guts. The monster lunges forward, but our guy is lightning fast. He blasts himself into the sky, dive bombs with insane precision, and drives his sword straight into the beast's skull. An absolutely devastating critical hit. He sticks the landing flawlessly, ripping a massive gash across the boss. That's when reality hits him. Despite being an absolute tank, this sealed mammoth is insanely nerfed. Its physical strength barely matches a measly level 10 monkey. Pissed off, the monster screeches in pure rage and charges forward. But in a split second, our MC launches himself back up. He moves so incredibly fast, he's practically glitching, slashing the beast, with endless combo strikes giving it absolutely zero breathing room. The camera pans to the mammoth, it's completely off balance, its legs buckling under its own massive weight. And that is exactly when our boy pops his ultimate, the domination skill. Blazing uncontrollable fire literally flares up in his eyes. Without skipping a beat, he unleashes the Pure Land technique. His glowing sword strike cleaves through everything in its path, shredding not just the mammoth into literal dust, but completely wiping out all those frozen mobs in the crossfire. Suddenly, the dead silence gets interrupted by a massive flood of system pop-ups. He just wiped the entire map and bagged some insane EXP. The boss alone dropped a fat 1,000 points, plus he just scored 10 blazing bones, which are worth a massive 10,000 alongside a super rare advanced crafting material. The Jade Fang, this bad boy is an absolute must-have for forging level 5 core weapons. Flash to his system screen where his newly updated stats are looking totally busted. Plant Element, sitting at 3,500. Core Element, 3,200. And Star Element is at 1,450. Without wasting a single second, he tosses that shiny new fang straight into his stash. Then he spots a glowing drop on the blood-soaked ground. It's the Resonant Jade, a rare artifact made of twin jade stones, packing a very unique hidden ability. A smug little smirk totally creeps across our guy's face. Finally, an incredibly satisfying thought echoes through his mind. I finally got my hands on you. Suddenly, the system hits the MC with a wild surprise. Both his Core Warrior and Cloud Mage classes just ranked up to rank D, and to top off that insane power spike, his base stats get a massive buff too. He is genuinely mind blown right now. The way his Mage class is literally speedrunning these levels is just straight up broken. While he's carefully geeking out over his new stat page, something else completely catches his eye. He just unlocked a brand new title, 1 versus 100. This insane passive boosts all his stats by a whopping 20% and bumps his lifesteal up by 10%. The only catch it completely turns on whenever he's playing strictly solo. A beat later, Laura nervously walks up to the massive pile of monster loot. Out of nowhere, Alexis just casually steps out from the shadows and says, "Laura, remember what I told you?" And honestly, she totally deserves the flex. Our girl actually hit level 7 and is now rocking a solid rank E. Smash cut back to the academy. A totally panicked professor is sprinting down the hallway, screaming his lungs out. The seal is completely shattered. We are absolutely doomed. We've never seen an energy spike this insanely huge. I literally warned you guys. We needed more guards. While he's frantically rushing down the stairs, he almost bumps right into Sigilfredo, who's calmly walking up. Barely even slowing down, the professor completely snaps at him. "Why the hell did you leave your post? You're supposed to be down in the maze guarding the underclassmen." And before Sigilfredo can even get a single word out, the guy yells, "Screw this. I don't have time. I need to get down there right now." Professor Gonzalez strolls away without a second glance. He leaves Sigilfredo completely paralyzed, his mind short-circuiting. Suddenly, a sharp chuckle slices through the heavy silence. "See, Karma didn't waste any time catching up to you." Right after that, the faculty storms into the maze. They scream out for our guy and Laura, but stop dead in their tracks. The two of them are just chilling completely unfazed. Like nothing even happened. Our hero blinks genuinely confused. What's going on, professors? Why the massive search party?" One of the teachers squints at the cave entrance. The seal is literally untouched. He scowls, totally mind-boggled. "Another garbage reading from the scanner man, whatever. Look, I'm just incredibly relieved you two are safe." Fast forward a bit to May 29th. The school day is almost wrapping up, and we're hovering right outside the squad's meeting room. Sigilfredo is pacing by the door, cornering the vice captain. You can practically taste his desperation. "Hey, vice captain, the paperwork I handed in today, that's definitely enough to lock it in, right? That final roster spot belongs to me," but before he can even finish hyping himself up, the vice captain brutally cuts him off. "Tough luck, man. The captain already picked somebody else." Sigilfredo's face drops, freezing into pure rage. "What the hell? Who? We had a deal that slot was promised to whoever pulled the highest stats. Are you saying my raw power and battle record aren't cutting it?" Right on cue, the captain steps out of the shadows. She hits him with icy confidence. "Yeah, we found a guy whose stats completely blow yours out of the water. This kid Alexis is insanely overpowered. So, yeah, the choice was obvious. Captain Lee isn't messing around. They call her the Golden Killer. She's rocking a level 7 electric ability, and she never ever makes sloppy calls." Fast forward to the dead of night. The camera pans to a gritty street food stall, where two guys are hunched over their grub on the curb. One of them is Investigator Chen Jing-woo, a heavy hitter from the inspection squad, and a rank D blue priest. He glares at his buddy, his voice dead serious. "Listen to me very carefully. Knock off the garbage. It cost me an arm and a leg to bail your butt out." The other dude just keeps casually stuffing his face. He shrugs it off, mumbling a careless, yeah, I get it." Chen leans in close, dropping his voice to a hushed whisper. "Word on the street is, the big boss touches down next Friday. Are you prepped for this?" The guy doesn't even blink. He smirks, telling Chen to take a chill pill and stop stressing. Suddenly, Chen's phone buzzes. He glances at the caller ID and clicks his tongue in pure annoyance. "Ugh, this old boomer again. Look, I gotta sprint back to headquarters right now. Do me a favor and drag yourself home early tonight." He doesn't even wait for a nod. Chen bolts. The second guy just sits there in the glowing neon light, muttering under his breath. "Oh, trust me. I'm heading home early tonight. I've got business to handle." And then the ultimate plot twist drops like a massive bombshell. This shady deadbeat, he is our main character's dad. Cut to him kicking his front door open. The second he realizes the house is completely empty, pure psychotic rage takes over. He screams at the top of his lungs. Where the hell did they go? He instantly loses his absolute mind, trashing the living room. He starts violently smashing furniture and spitting venomous curses on a loop. "How dare those rats run away from me? The absolute second I track them down, I'm going to completely tear them apart." We immediately cut to a way softer scene. The spotlight shifts back to our boy and his mom. He is gently clasping a necklace around her neck. It's holding that exact crystal he ripped straight from the mammoth. He smiles softly. "Mom, this is called a resonant jade stone. Starting right now, you can never take this off. I am wearing the exact same one. If things ever go south and you are in danger, just crush it. The second it shatters, my stone is going to flare up. I'll instantly know you are in trouble, and I'll sprint straight to you. Seriously, I'd completely lose my mind with worry if you went out without this." While he is explaining this, a massive wave of guilt hits him. He remembers that his sweet mom has literally never gotten a real gift in her life, let alone a piece of high-tier magical jewelry. Right then, her hands start moving fast in sign language. She tells him straight up that he doesn't need to babysit her all weekend during his days off. She signs that teenage guys should be out causing chaos and having fun with their squad. He just drops a soft, casual smile. "Hanging out isn't really a priority for me, Mom." But she is not letting it slide. Come on, nobody can survive this world totally solo without a single friend. There has got to be someone special pulling your attention. Those words hit him right in the chest. He stares deeply into his mirror reflection, completely zoned out in thought, silently wondering to himself if he'll ever manage to track down the crew he rode with back in his past life. Fast forward a bit. The clock strikes exactly midnight. Our boy is standing dead in his tracks, right outside the D-rank wilderness labyrinth, his mind completely locked in. That whole mess with the Jade Stone, ancient history. He knows this hidden dungeon like the back of his hand. It only cracks open for a tiny window at midnight and slams shut right at 1 in the morning. The clock is ticking. He knows exactly what he needs to do, grind get insanely ripped, and level up without a single second of hesitation. He steps into the maze and boom, he's staring down a level 15 savage orchid, backed up by a level 13 predatory bloodflower. In that split second, a heavy memory hits him. Back in my past life, I actually made it to top tier warrior, but even then, I had to watch my closest friends get slaughtered right in front of me. Zero hesitation this time. He launches himself at the bloodflower, slashing it into a million pieces, snagging some sweet experience points and 3 blood blooms as loot. But honestly, even after taking that win, this dark vibe creeps up on him. What's the point of having a squad? If the top dogs up there just flip their moods like a switch, we wouldn't even have a ditch to drop dead in. Shaking it off, he pivots his blade toward the savage orchid, absolutely shredding it with pure raw focus. Mid-slash, he keeps hammering the thought into his own skull. He has to get stronger. Faster, completely untouchable. He keeps rushing headfirst into the orchids, slaughtering them one by one. And yeah, they're tearing into him, landing brutal bites and strikes, but he doesn't even flinch. Tunnel vision. The only thing in his brain is to keep swinging, even if it drags him straight to the grave. He knows he's still basically garbage right now, that he's nowhere near ready to throw down with his own father. And then the absolute worst thought hits him. What's his game plan against that total freak of nature, who was already flexing gold rank mastery like a pro since the day he was literally born, fueled by all that rage? Our guy locks on a one brutal reality. There are 0 cheat codes for the path he's walking. The camera pulls back as he pushes deep into the overgrown jungle, blade dripping fully locked and loaded to butcher anything foolish enough to block his way. He pops his domination aura and goes totally feral. Without missing a beat, he triggers the Pure Domain Strike, the exact same crazy move that carried him through the dungeon trials. And yeah, the results are just as broken. Every single orchid in his blast radius instantly turned to mulch. He catches his breath. Staring down at the plant guts everywhere, a terrifying fact hits him. The gate seals shut in exactly 20 minutes. No time to chill. He has to speedrun the rest of this zone and melt the boss right now. Cut to him sprinting through the twisting corridors, hitting the brakes dead in front of an absolutely massive twisted tree. Up in the branches, a nightmarish shadow is glaring holes straight through him. Our boy looks up, locks eyes, and smirks. All right, big guy, you're up next. A terrifying aura erupts from the beast. They both freeze, sizing each other up in dead silence. Boom, the monster vanishes, blurring forward with god-tier speed, closing the gap in less than a heartbeat. It's a level 20 boss, but honestly, our guy is already moving. His blade slices the air in half, completely lopping off the creature's arm in one clean strike. The monster staggers back, staring at its bloody stump. And right in front of him, flesh starts weaving back together, regenerating at a genuinely freakish speed. Wait, what? He completely freezes up, totally thrown off by that insane healing factor. But the boss isn't done. It smashes its fist into the dirt. Giant jagged roots violently explode out of the ground, ripping through the arena. And just like that, every single plant mob Alexis just slaughtered. They start twitching and rising back up. He's staring at them, completely dumbfounded. Didn't I just put you guys in the dirt? How are you even standing right now? There's absolutely no way a mid-tier boss has a mass resurrection skill, he mutters, panicking. Out of nowhere, something blasts out from under the dirt, slamming right into his spine. He spins around, choking on air, and locks eyes with another monster. Exact same look, exact same level. It's the boss's literal twin brother. His brain just short circuits. This cursed dungeon doesn't have one boss. It has 2. He's just standing there absolutely paralyzed by how unfair this is. And the worst part, there's exactly 1 minute left on the clock. Just like clockwork, the massive doors of the labyrinth slam permanently shut at exactly 1 in the morning. The camera instantly cuts. Fast forward to 6 in the evening. His mom is anxiously pacing by the window, staring out into the empty street. It's been 24 full hours of dead silence from her boy, and she's left him literally hundreds of unread messages. She's been blowing up his phone on repeat, but it keeps going straight to voicemail. A gnawing pit of dread drops in her stomach. She just knows he ran off solo into some sketchy death trap. Exactly like the last time, done waiting around. She bolts out the door to track him down, stepping straight into a brutal, relentless downpour. Cut to his deadbeat dad stumbling down the street, violently smashing bottles on the pavement while spitting pure venom. Wow, real classy. Leasing a whole house behind my back, and this crib actually looks low-key insane. Absolute trash, living your best life without me. He finally pulls up to our boy's front yard. He pauses, a sickeningly twisted grin spreading across his face. Smash cut back to his mom. She barges into a room, but the second she steps through that doorway and looks up, her jaw, straight up, drops. The scene unfolding right in front of her is pure nightmare fuel. Meanwhile, our white-haired goat spawns right back into the brutal core of the labyrinth, clutching a massive bleeding gash across his torso as he stumbles forward. One gritty thought keeps looping in his head. This is round 5 against these psycho mutant plants. He shreds them to pieces, but they literally just keep respawning. Wasting zero time, he blitzes straight into the mob, ruthlessly slicing them into absolute confetti. But watching these freaks instantly glitch back to life, it fully hits him. Grinding here is completely useless. 0 experience points, 0 drops. The math is simple. He needs to hunt down whatever is feeding them this infinite revive cheat. Lurking right behind the overgrowth, 2 massive bosses are just standing there, stalking his every move. Then it clicks. Those annoying little minions aren't the only ones packing some crazy auto heal. In a split second, he dashes at one of the heavy hitters at breakneck speed, popping his flashblink skill. He teleports right into its face, unleashing an absolutely savage combo of sword strikes. But boom, the boss just heals up like it's nothing. At the exact same time, boss number 2 triggers its own regen. Even after our boy literally decapitates the thing, the freak just snaps its neck back into place like a total joke. Alexis steps back reading the play. What he's looking at feels like a massive glitch in the Matrix. Mobs dying and instantly respawning, constantly spamming massive party heals. That's a cracked exploit that not even S-rank healers, or higher, could ever pull off. He frantically scans the zone trying to track down the source of this broken buff, wondering where all this insane healing juice is coming from. Like, is there some secret mana battery pumping them up? Going totally feral, he spams his blink skill again. But plot twist, the boss totally reads his dash, sidesteps the blade, and fires back with a brutal counter. Alexis barely gets his sword up in time to tank the hit. He triggers his parry skill on impact, instantly giving his attack damage a 2x multiplier. Riding that massive damage boost, he claps back with a catastrophic swing that completely rocks the monster to its core. As the brawl drags on, Alexis notices a super creepy detail. The boss's AI is evolving. It's literally downloading his attack patterns. Then the beast literally starts talking, praising his combat skills. That massive red flag definitely doesn't slip past him. And then all the puzzle pieces snap together. Our boy locks onto the real battery, powering these freaks, a colossal glowing tree off to the side. He spots the literal veins of mana pumping out of its roots. 0 hesitation. He full sprints straight for the trunk. The boss lunges in to body block him, but Alexis weaves through the strike like a ghost and casually lops off its entire arm without missing a beat. The logic is crystal clear now. The boss's busted healing stats and infinite range are totally hardwired into that giant plant. Take down the tree, and it's game over for these guys. He finally closes the gap. Winding up for a single earth-shattering heavy attack, he completely chops the tree in half. The second it falls, the boss unleashes this agonizing, ear-piercing screech that echoes through the entire cavern. Keeping that insane momentum going, our boy Alexis instantly quick-swaps his class, straight to Cloud Mage. The 2 bosses roar, desperately trying to jump him, but they are way too slow. He aims his staff right at their faces, and hits them with a massive cryoblast, freezing them rock solid, and totally locking them down in giant blocks of ice. Next move, he toggles right back to his core element warrior class. He strolls up to one of the giant popsicles and buries his blade, deep into its chest, grinning as he confirms his theory out loud. He was totally right. The exact second that tree got wrecked, their insane regen and infinite lives were completely wiped from the server. A shiny system pop-up flashes across his vision, boss eliminated, and he bags a sweet 2,500 points on top of it. He scores a high tier drop, the 100 Souls Herb. This insane loot recovers 50% of his stamina and patches up his major physical damage. Right in front of him, the defeated boss's corpse starts breaking down. The thick frost coating its body rapidly thaws until the whole massive creature violently shatters into tiny icy fragments. At that exact same second, the frozen prison trapping the boss's brother completely vanishes. Our boy levels his glowing blade, aiming at dead center at the remaining monster, and coldly spits out, "You're the last one standing?" The surviving beast just stares blankly at the mangled, shattered remains of its twins scattered across the floor. Completely giving up, the monster exposes its chest, practically begging, "Just end it." Alexis pauses, totally caught off guard for a hot second, muttering to himself, "Bro, I've literally never seen a boss pull a move like this. Did losing his brother completely drain his will to live? Whatever, I'll grant your final wish." Without missing a beat, he lunges forward. His blade slices through the air with lethal precision, instantly executing the beast and ending this chaotic raid in a single strike. Boom! The system interface flashes instantly. He just bagged an extra 2,500 points, plus a rare top-tier material, the Toxic Piercing. Obviously, his stats totally skyrocket. He officially hits level 15 for his core element fighter class, and his Cloud Mage class ranks up to 13. On top of that epic flex, he scoops up a fresh batch of attribute points. The heavy stone doors at the dungeon's entrance finally start grinding open. Catching his breath, Alexis pulls up his crazy loot stats. He realizes he's fully maxed out the plant element, triggering a brand new class awakening. He taps the glowing panel, totally hyped to see what crazy vibe this new class will bring. His last one was a straight up aggressive red. The screen flashes blindingly bright, revealing the ultimate answer. This time, the aura glows a deep icy blue. It's an E-rank plant summoner class. Our hero smirks to himself, thinking, so, it ended up being blue. The base stat requirements are actually pretty chill, but I seriously have zero clue what kind of broken skills this thing is packing. Dead set on figuring out her deal, he pulls up his skill window. Right there, he spots Flower Spirit Contract. This broken ability lets him bind the exact spirit he just slaughtered, turning it into his personal minion. He also uncovers a passive perk called Flower Field. This wild trait actually lets him sense the lingering souls of freshly killed plant-type monsters. Barely above a whisper, he mutters, "Evil spirit contract." Wait, does that mean those two bosses I just wrecked? But the words die in his throat. His eyes snap to the corpses, catching something insane. Their glowing souls are just hovering there, frozen in midair, like they are waiting for orders. Without missing a beat, he strides over, triggers the flower spirit contract, and barks an absolute command. "You two, get over here." The twin phantoms glide straight toward our boy. Cut to a completely different vibe back at Alexis's place. His deadbeat dad is lurking out front, drenched in the pouring rain. Out of nowhere, his phone buzzes in his pocket, making him wonder who the hell is calling this late. The second he picks up, he instantly clocks Detective Chen's voice. He jumps right on it. "Wait, can I seriously get into Commander Hong's exclusive party?" Okay, loud and clear. I will bust my gut this time around. I am going to prep a massive gift for him. Just you watch. Yeah, I know. I am not fumbling this chance to crawl back into the guild. Snapping his phone shut, he chuckles darkly and smirks. Man, today is an absolutely glorious day. I better go track down my little sister and have a nice little chat. Meanwhile, the spotlight shifts over to our hero's mom. It is already 6 in the evening, and she is just standing there, soaking wet in the storm. Our guy suddenly dashes up to her, panicking. "Mom, why are you out here? Can't you see? It's pouring. Come on, we are going home right now." He immediately pops open an umbrella, shielding her from the downpour. Once they are safe inside, his mom gazes down at the bracelet resting in her palms. A bittersweet thought crosses her mind. This kid is such a fool. Did he seriously sneak out in the dead of night just to score me a Mother's Day present? Do you really think that just because I am mute, I am completely clueless? Later on, Alexis crashes on his bed, racking his brain over his 3 Yishfa, Thor's 3 active classes, Green Warrior, Blue Summoner, and Red Mage. So far, his 2 main combat roles have officially hit D rank. He pulls up his glowing stat window and scours through the data. But his gut screams that it is still not enough. His dad got locked up on the 21st, and it has already been 10 grueling days. In just 5 more days, he is getting out. Then again, there's a massive risk that the guy cut a shady deal behind bars and is already walking free. That is exactly why our white-haired hero has been prepping like crazy, setting up both the bracelet and the necklace as countermeasures. Bright and early the next morning, he plunges straight into a hidden dungeon. He is dead convinced that this whole mess will not fix itself if they just keep running away. Before he kicks off his massive training arc, he desperately needs to bury this threat once and for all. So he charges forward without a second thought, storming right into the first dungeon. Then the second, the third, the fourth. He absolutely speedruns all of them back to back, totally ignoring the crazy rank differences. Right after crushing the fourth one, the camera cuts to him, standing in a dense forest, staring down a brand new D rank portal. Clenching his fists, he mutters, "Right now I cannot afford to waste a single second. I gotta grind my level up as fast as humanly possible to hit C rank." With zero hesitation, he dives into the abyss and hours melt away, until night finally drops, leaving him victorious over the final boss. Stepping back outside, he instantly feels the massive stat boost coursing through him. Eyes blazing, he whispers, "Next time we cross paths, I swear I will be stronger than you." But right at that moment, a system alert pops up out of nowhere. He just unlocked an epic new title. Lone Wolf Hero rewarded for solo clearing 10 entire dungeons. And the craziest part? It drops a legendary item called the Hero's Key. Once he meets the insane hidden conditions, this key will unlock the mythical warrior's tower. But honestly, our guy is just standing there utterly shell-shocked, struggling to process what the hell just happened. Cut to the next morning at the Awakened Academy. The professor bursts into the classroom with this crazy, infectious energy. Without skipping a beat, she hypes up the class. Listen up, everyone. I am beyond thrilled to announce that the final exam results are officially out, students. Alexis and Laura absolutely crushed it, securing first and second place in the entire school. Their combat records were so insane that they got shipped straight to the main headquarters for a deep dive analysis. And the final verdict, flawless. This is literally the highest score in Academy history. Because of this massive flex, both of them just scored an exclusive ticket to the elite training expedition. On top of that, thanks to Alexis going total beast mode, they have actually earned the ultimate honor of meeting the legendary Sacred Guild face to face. You could hear a pin drop in that classroom. Everyone is completely paralyzed with shock. The bombshell news about someone actually meeting the Sacred Guild snatches the breath right out of their lungs. Meanwhile, our boy zones out, his mind racing. He never saw this coming in a million years. He seriously wonders if he's actually going to meet those legends flesh and blood. A split second later, one of his buddies slides up next to him, flashing a half-joking, half-dead serious grin, telling him not to forget the day ones once he hits the absolute peak. Just a few feet away, the dude with the glasses quietly spins on his heel and dips out. He just knows deep down that Alexis is destined to completely take over the game. Smash cut to the middle school principal's office. Juan zeroes in on Arturo, locking eyes before dropping the question. "Are you seriously going to pass this up? Your dad is barely ever around, man. This is a golden ticket. You could easily tag along to the main headquarters, just playing the backup role for one of the guys on the trip." Arturo's knuckles turn white as he clenches his fists. Boiling with frustration, he shoots back instantly. "Hell no. I bagged third place this time. I didn't hit the mark, so I straight up don't deserve it. Plus, there's zero chance I'm letting people think I'm just riding my dad's coattails. The principal studies him for a beat, giving a slow nod. You're dead serious about this. I respect the hustle. I really wish your old man could see this fire in you. The room goes quiet for a second before Arturo takes a massive breath and drops a request. But listen, Uncle, I need a massive favor. Can you clear me to hit that labyrinth behind the mountain? I need to grind and get ridiculously strong on my own. Meanwhile, deep inside the head director's office, the tension is suffocating. Sigilfredo is practically begging in front of Dago, his voice cracking with pure desperation. Please, Uncle, I have to get on this training trip. I'm literally the sole heir to our bloodline. Dago glares down at him, his eyes absolute ice. Exactly. Because you're the only heir. You can't afford to be this recklessly stupid. Talk to me. What on earth was going through your head during that last combat sim? You straight up rigged a monster to wipe out your own squad. Did you honestly think the top brass wouldn't catch a stunt that insanely sloppy? If I hadn't pulled strings to bury your mess, you'd be totally expelled right now. Those words hit Sigilfredo like a freight train. All the color drains from his face. His knees buckle, sending him crashing to the floor. I'm so sorry, Uncle. I totally screwed up. Next time I swear I'll... But Dago slices right through his apology. Get off the floor. There's something massive you're not seeing here. Because of your little stunt, the higher-ups caught on to something way bigger. That kid Alexis, he is built totally different. There's an insane aura around him. His power scaling makes zero sense. And that's exactly why this time around, someone from the Sacred Guild is dropping in just to check him out. I'll let you tag along on this training trip, but you better drop that toxic ego right now and humble yourself. Because if you pull another stunt, I won't be there to bail you out. Are we crystal clear? Sigilfredo's eyes practically light up with a sick, twisted joy. In his head, he's already plotting. Just you wait, Alexis. Once we hit that training ground, I'm going to show you exactly who the apex predator is. And Lee, you're going to be mine. Flashback to the classroom chaos. Our boy's sidekick. The dude rocking the green tee is just standing there, completely paralyzed. He's clutching a piece of paper like it's radioactive. A VIP invite for Alexis to officially join the elite school squad. Totally losing his mind, the guy screams, "Holy crap. This is literally the most overpowered team on campus." You get in, you skip all the trash tier exams, and you get a fast pass straight into the Sacred Guild. Bro, do you even realize the only legendary gold tier assassin from the last decade built this squad? Everyone breaks their backs, just applying. And they're dropping a guaranteed invite right in your lap. Plus, this squad is strictly for the high school heavyweights, and they're headhunting a middle schooler. Alexis, you are actually totally insane. I'm literally about to cry right now. Our MC doesn't say a single word. He just stands up, snatches the envelope out of his hands, struts right to the back of the class, and casually dunks it straight into the trash. The whole room freezes in shock. Jaws are literally on the floor. Nobody can process the insane flex they just watched. Without skipping a beat, he just pivots and casually dips, muttering that he's got places to be. The green shirt guy, completely short-circuiting, shuffles over to the trash. He stares at the crumpled paper and whispers, "What a massive fumble." That was the ultimate cheat code. From the back corner, the glasses kid finally speaks up, chillingly calm. You guys are absolutely clueless. None of you get how Alexis operates. He's never going to play sidekick in someone else's squad. Because with the kind of insane power he's packing right now, he is destined to be the one calling the shots. The scene cuts to the dark, shadowy mountains right behind the campus. Our boy pushes through the thick woods, heading straight for a meetup spot. And somebody's already chilling in the shadows waiting for him. The guy doesn't even beat around the bush, instantly dropping the bomb. Yo, every single labyrinth access code fully bypassed. We're talking full D rank clearance, man. I pulled some strings, so nobody's going to be snooping around here after dark. Come on, get in here. The moonlight finally hits his face, revealing none other than Arturo himself. Our white-haired MC just stares dead into the gaping maw of the dungeon, casually dropping a reality check. Look, man, this zone is way out of your league. You really need to grind somewhere a lot safer. But Arturo instantly snaps, cutting him off, with pure bruised ego. Shut the hell up. I am not going to drag you down. See, our MC actually made a deal to train this rich kid, teaching him raw, street-lethal combat mechanics, basically boosting his leveling speed to the absolute max. But it came with one massive catch. Arturo had to hack the system and slide him access to the Academy's locked-down dungeons. Honestly, he never expected this brat to actually finesse full clearance for every single zone in that tier. Cut to a bit later. The duo is deep inside the dungeon's guts. Alexis is just gliding through the chaos, casually shredding beasts like it's a walk in the park. Arturo, yay, not so much. Homeboy gets completely clapped by a shadow beast eating absolute dirt. The white-haired killer just glances down at him, voice cold as ice. You need a hand down there. Arturo doesn't even make eye contact, spitting out pure venom. Back off, man. I can handle my own trash. He violently pushes himself off the floor, charging straight back into the meat grinder. Without blinking, our MC just stands there watching the kid crash out. He's deep in his own head, realizing he still hasn't hit the brutal stat checks for the Warriors Tower. So, storming that place is a massive no-go right now. The golden rule is brutal. Hit a level 8 class evolution or stay locked out. Up to this point, he's basically speedrun and completely wiped every single rogue dungeon out in the wild, leaving the Academy's private death traps as his only option to keep stacking crazy XP. And everybody knows the harsh truth of leveling. The higher your class rank, the more ridiculous the grind becomes. You need mountains of XP just to budge the needle. Ever since he hit D rank, his progression has totally flatlined. Honestly, he's just insanely lucky that these school dungeons are absolutely swarming with high-tier mobs, keeping his XP bar constantly feeding. Fast forward to the next grind session, the boys dive back into the abyss. Out of nowhere, a massive beast lunges straight at Arturo, jaws wide open, ready to rip his head off. But right before the fatal crunch, our boy teleports in. One surgical bone-crushing strike, and the monster is vaporized. Arturo just glares at him, absolutely fuming. Yo, what the hell? Didn't I tell you to let me solo this? Alexis doesn't even blink. Bro, if I didn't step in, you'd be a literal bloodstain right now. By the time Thursday rolls around, they finally drag themselves out of the hellhole. Arturo is looking smug as hell, just totally hyping himself up. Let's go, I officially hit D rank. I knew it, running these dungeons raw is a million times better than having my family's babysitter guards hovering over me. Meanwhile, standing right behind him, our white-haired god is just quietly soaking in his own massive victory. Finally, my warrior class just breached C rank. With this kind of raw power, I can actually take that guy head on. Right on cue, his holographic system screen flashes. Warrior level 21, rank C. His base stats have absolutely skyrocketed, completely unlocking a brand new broken skill. Fast forwarding to a chill night at home. His sweet mom is chatting with him, using sign language, throwing out the ultimate curveball. Hey, have you been sneaking around with a cute girl lately? You've been disappearing a lot these past 2 days. Our boy instantly starts sweating, waving his hands. No way, Mom, I'm literally still in high school. But she just smirks, signing back. Then where are you sneaking off to with your little friends? He shakes his head, dead serious. Mom, I swear I am not dating anyone. But she just gives him that gentle, knowing smile, signing away. Honey, it's totally fine. Meeting a girl and falling hard for her is completely normal. If someone caught your eye, you gotta step up and make a move. Don't use the "it's too early" excuse. Time doesn't wait, sweetie. You'll blink, the chance will vanish, and you'll be left regretting that you played it safe. Those words actually hit him like a truck. He just sits there completely frozen, trying to figure out if there really is a girl living rent-free in his head. And then, a flash of a memory hits his mind. Katiuska, the terrifying golden assassin and his former squad mate. She was always invading his personal space, constantly craving his attention, like a shadow he just couldn't shake. She used to practically beg for a hug, but he constantly brushed her off. Suddenly, a raw battlefield memory flashes through his mind. Katyusha collapses into the dirt, yet still manages to flash a radiant smile. Commander, we clinched another victory. He steps up and reaches out to pull her to her feet. She grabs his hand, dusts herself off, and instantly demands a piggyback ride. But without missing a beat, our guy coldly tells her he's already leaving her in the dust. He snaps back to reality, realizing that even if their paths crossed again, any chance of sparking a real connection is completely dead and gone. Fast forward to the next morning. It's his birthday. He's just chilling at the kitchen table, turning a wrapped box over in his hands. Across from him, his mom uses sign language, gently letting him know it's a gift just for him. He carefully unwraps it, pulling out a heavy knitted scarf with a handwritten note tucked inside. The card reads, "Wishing my sweet boy endless happiness and the absolute courage to chase whatever life you choose." He pauses, totally confused. Summer is literally right around the corner. Why a winter scarf right now? Still, he looks up and drops the bomb. Mom, guess what? I'm heading off to the Shingetsu Kingdom. She doesn't even flinch, calmly explaining that the brutal temperature drop between the scorching days and the freezing nights out there is intense. She tells him to stay safe, promising she'll be totally fine too. And suddenly it hits him like a truck. She knew his master plan this whole time. Right after that, she slides some cash across the table, nudging him to treat his squad to a nice dinner. Since it's his big day, he just deadpans. Haven't I told you a million times I literally have 0 friends? Later on at school, the dude in the green tee slides up with a present, a little figurine of an ocean maiden. Alexis is actually taken aback. So, what do you think of the merch, Alexis? It's my absolute favorite piece. Pretty epic, right? The guy hypes it up. Our protagonist just gives a low-key nod and mutters a thanks. Suddenly, the guy with the glasses crashes the conversation. Bro, that gift is totally lame. Check this out. Nowadays, tracking one of these down is near impossible. He slaps a tape onto the desk. The hero instantly freezes. It's a mint-condition copy of his favorite flick, The Prestige. Flashing back to his previous life, the two of them used to sneak into shady warehouses just to binge-band historical movies. Glasses guy leans in close and whispers, "Don't let the teacher catch you with this. Stash it somewhere safe." Wasting 0 time, he snatches the tape, shoves it deep into his desk, and breathes out a quiet thanks. Right on cue, the redhead makes her grand entrance. She strolls up, clutching a sleek little box in her hands. "Happy birthday, Alexis." The second he pops at the lid, the entire classroom goes dead silent. Jaws literally drop to the floor. "Bro, is that an A-tier weapon?" the green shirt dude shrieks. And he's spot on. It's a top-level magic artifact. The legendary morphing gem. Utterly shocked, our guy pushes the box back. "This gear is way too insanely rare. There's no way I can take it." But Laura doesn't hesitate for a second, shooting back. "Listen, if you hadn't shown up, I'd have been completely locked out of the training expedition. Plus, it's really not that big of a deal. My family hoards these things, and I know you actually need it right now." Our hero weighs his options. He knows he desperately needs to grind some levels, and deep down, he has 0 solid excuse to turn down free loot. He wonders if she hooked him up, because she caught him using trash tier magic gear when he swapped his class right in front of her. He realizes this girl is ridiculously sharp. It also blows his mind that despite his hardcore plan to ditch town without making any emotional ties, these people actually memorized his birthday and went out of their way to score him presents. Meanwhile, his two buddies are already whispering in the background, totally shipping him and Laura. Out of nowhere, she materializes right behind them. What exactly are you guys gossiping about? They both jump out of their skin. Right then, our protagonist steps up to kill the awkward vibes. Yo, how about we all grab some food tonight? Don't even sweat the bill. It's totally on me. You guys free? Naturally, the whole crew gets hyped and instantly accepts his offer without a second thought. But just as the vibes peak, a massive buzz ripples through the classroom. Somebody whispers that a squad of upperclassmen is marching straight down the hallway heading right for their door. Rumor has it the captain of the Supreme Squad is showing up in person to recruit Alexis, and word on the street is she's drop-dead gorgeous. Unfazed, our guy coolly pushes back his chair, casually dropping the bomb that he'll be passing on their little invite. Zero hesitation. He strides straight for the exit and steps out into the hallway. Boom. He's instantly met with a massive crowd of students staring holes into him. Right in the mix is Siegfried scowling like somebody just stepped on his kicks. Visibly pissed, Siegfried sneers to himself. Are they seriously going all out for this absolute clown-sickening cut to the next scene? Alexis barely makes it 2 steps down the hall when, bam! The power completely cuts out, sending the overhead lights into a crazy, flickering frenzy. The whole crowd whips their heads up to the ceiling, completely clueless about what's going down. In that split second, his instincts scream. Something insanely fast is hurtling right toward him, moments away from a brutal impact. The rest of the students instantly shield their faces, completely paralyzed by the blinding surge of raw electrical energy. The voltage violently rips through the corridor like a totally unhinged lightning bolt. But our boy, he ain't falling for the flashy tricks. He instantly realizes it's nothing but an optical illusion. Without missing a single beat, he whips out his blade and effortlessly parries the lethal current. The lightning violently spirals around his body. A split second later, he whips his head around to check his blind spot. His gut screams that the next strike is coming straight for his left flank. Acting on pure reflex, he flawlessly blocks the incoming hit. For the helpless bystanders, the whole clash is just an insanely fast blur, way too quick for their brains to even process. And out of the shadows steps Katyuska. Our guy stares her down, totally caught off guard by her dramatic entrance while she flashes a sly little smirk. She chuckles. Damn, those reflexes are no joke. I totally knew I picked the right guy. The second his eyes lock onto hers, a massive wave of memories triggers in his brain, and he recognizes her on the spot. It's like zero time has actually passed. Vivid flashbacks from his past life suddenly hit him like a freaking truck. He remembers all those soft moments, her begging him for hugs, playfully asking for piggyback rides. Every single memory they shared floods his mind in crystal clear HD. Snapping back to reality, she speaks with an ultra-chill vibe. We totally spammed you with invites, but you completely ghosted us. So I figured I had to drag myself over here and see you face to face. Meanwhile, the whole crowd is literally frozen stiff. In the background, the dude rocking the green tee whispers that Alexis is definitely going to reject her, and this whole thing is about to get mega cringy. Ignoring the whispers, she smoothly continues. So, how have you been? Let me properly introduce myself. But she doesn't even get to finish. Out of nowhere, our boy dashes straight at her and completely wraps her in a tight hug. The entire hallway collectively loses its mind. Siegfried is literally staring with his jaw on the floor. Without letting go, Alexis softly whispers to her. It's been way too long since I last saw you. She just stands there totally speechless, completely short-circuiting from the sudden affection. Green Shirt's buddy just completely loses his cool and yells, "Bro, what the heck? He's legit hugging her in front of the whole school. Are we seriously witnessing some crazy romance unfolding right now between an older girl, like totally ignoring the insane gap in their social ranks?" Right on cue, the nerdy guy with glasses leans in to spill the tea. He whispers, "Bro, she's actually not older at all. Katyuska was literally in the exact same grade as us. But she fully awakened her powers back in middle school. The girl leveled up so ridiculously fast that she skipped grades and bumped straight into high school." Across the hall, the redhead is watching this whole spicy drama unfold in absolute disbelief. Suddenly, Katyuska instantly triggers her skill. Moving at blinding god-tier speed, she literally vanishes into thin air and teleports right behind our guy. She playfully pokes him in the back and purrs. "So, should I take that super tight hug as a yes to my little invite? Listen, the varsity squad gets fully backed by the Academy's bottomless budget. It's the ultimate fast track for the absolute best opportunities. We get access to all the VIP gear. There are way better, much faster methods to level up your strength and speed here. You won't have to just blindly grind in the Academy's crusty labyrinth after classes anymore. Look, we both have the exact same goal to get ridiculously overpowered. And who knows, maybe someday down the line we could even fight side by side." Our white-haired badass shuts her down without missing a beat. "I'm passing on the varsity squad, and honestly, I'm not even sticking around this place for long. Joining your little team in this dump is completely pointless for me. But heads up, I'm going to be building my very own guild from scratch soon. Once that officially kicks off, maybe then we'll get the chance to throw down together." He gently reaches out softly, grabs her hand, and they share a brief lingering goodbye. Suddenly, the squad's vice captain crashes the scene and glares at Katyuska. "What the heck are you even doing out here? Captain Juan just got back to campus, and the principal literally ordered the whole squad to roll out and welcome her. Locking eyes with our boy one last time, she drops a casual hint. Catch you on the training trip real soon. We'll have plenty of time to chat there, and you're gonna spill why you acted like we haven't seen each other in forever. Since the last time we crossed paths? Without missing a beat, she spins around and struts off, leaving him totally frozen in his tracks. Yeah, Gilfredo is absolutely shook. The entire courtyard instantly erupts into a frenzy of whispers. Everyone's losing their minds over how he just straight up curved a VIP invite from the squad captain herself. But wait, it gets crazier. This dude actually had the absolute audacity to ask her to join his guild instead. People are instantly calling Cap. Starting a solo guild, literally impossible. He's completely underage, and you need insane stacks of cash to pull that off. Even as a massive flex, it's just ridiculous. Like, bro seriously needs to learn some boundaries? The gossip spreads like an absolute wildfire. Sure, everyone admits he completely shattered the high school evaluation record, but everyone agrees on one thing. That full-on public hug right in front of the whole school, absolutely wild. Especially since the captain didn't even try to push him away. Meanwhile, completely blocking out the drama, our boy is deep in thought. I never expected to bump into Katiuska like this. The Divine Guild kept their member roster totally locked down, and we literally never dug into our pasts. Who would have guessed she went to this exact same high school? If I had known, I would have tracked her down in a heartbeat. Guess this is my actual birthday surprise. Fast forward past the final bell. The crew is chilling around a table at a local grub spot. Glasses guy chimes in, tossing out a snarky comment about how things would have gone down if he got to pick the hangout spot. His buddy instantly shuts him down. What are you even yapping about right now? Alexis was the one craving barbecue. I just hyped up the restaurant, that's it. Brushing off the bickering, the redhead pivots the conversation, staring dead at Alexis. Yo, Alexis, back there when you talked about starting your own guild, were you dead serious? Plus you dropped that bomb about not sticking around. Are you seriously dropping out of school? Our guy doesn't even blink before dropping his answer. Yeah, after the training trip wraps, I'm permanently relocating to the Shenguo Kingdom. Boom. The mood instantly flatlines. The trio trades totally shell-shocked glances, frantically asking if he's actually throwing away his education, just to chase some crazy startup pipe dream while still in high school. Alexis stays totally chill, shutting it down. Nope. I'm just transferring to continue my studies over there. The girl scrunches her face, her brain doing absolute gymnastics to process this. Wait, so you're literally gunning for a spot at the Sacred Weapons Academy in Shenguo? Hard cut. We roll up to the ultra-ritzy cave and hotel. A sleek ride stops dead at the entrance, flanked by heavy-duty security posted at the doors. A dude rocking a crisp white trench coat steps out. Detective Chen, who's been lurking outside waiting for him, instantly hits him with a stiff, highly respectful bow. Commander, right this way, please. The big boss struts past the threshold into the lobby, where a bunch of VIPs are already posted up at their tables. Off to the side stands Chen, and right next to him, Alexis's dad, Jose Shin. A split second later, Captain Liam locks dead onto Jose. His face completely drops. Yanking Chen aside, he hisses frantically. Bro, wasn't Jose supposed to be locked up for 15 solid days? What the hell is going on? How is he roaming free already? Chen keeps his voice super low, desperately trying to play it off like no big deal. He dropped a massive bag for extra bail, and the big boss greenlit the whole thing, Vice Commander. Don't sweat the details. But Liam isn't buying it for a second. His eyes turn deadly cold as he jabs a finger at Jose. Then tell me why the hell you dragged him here. To the commander's private exclusive banquet. Chen leans in super close, dropping his voice to a low, secretive whisper. Look, you know he only got kicked from the guild over some completely petty drama. This is his one shot to claw his way back in. The guy brought every single thing he owns, even his magic crystals. Throwing him a bone won't kill us, right? Just a few feet away, Jose is nervously gripping a heavy bag stuffed with magic crystals. He carefully shuffles toward the commander, but before he can even open his mouth, it all goes straight to hell. The captain goes absolutely ballistic. He viciously slaps the bag right out of Jose's hands, sending crystals spilling across the floor. Get the hell out of here. This spot is totally locked down by the Divine Guild. A pathetic dog like you has zero right to be breathing our air, let alone snooping on our classified military intel. The blow leaves him completely stunned. Utterly humiliated, Joe Sejin crouches down to scoop up the bag, his voice tight as he scrambles for excuses. I am so sorry, Commander. Please just hear me out. I only wanted to... But he does not even get to finish. With a lightning-fast move, the captain violently grabs him by the collar, hoisting him right off his feet. You seriously think you can bribe me with this absolute trash? Grab your garbage and get the hell out of my face. The commander shoves him away with zero hesitation, sending him crashing hard into the dirt. He barks out a ruthless order. From this second on, not a single one of you will let this mutt anywhere near the squad. Are we crystal clear? Poseidon locks his eyes onto the shattered glass, scattered right in front of him. He reaches out lightly, brushing the sharp edges for a split second, before suddenly slamming his fist down with pure fury. He violently crushes the shards into dust. The impact slices right through his skin. Blood drips down, but the guy does not even flinch. Absolutely consumed by rage, he spits out venom. "You absolute scumbags. How dare you treat me like this? Aren't you just a pathetic nobody rocking the rank of a lowly commander? Where do you even get the nerve to disrespect me like that?" He slowly rises to his feet, and a terrifying dark aura starts swirling all around his body. Without a single glance backward, he spins around and storms right out of the hotel. He practically hisses with pure disgust. "This world is absolute trash. Nothing is going my way. I will completely obliterate all of you." The scene suddenly cuts. Now right outside the apartment building where our main guy lives, his mom is standing there, clutching a shopping bag tightly in her hands. Right at that exact moment, Jo Sejin pulls up to the scene. The second she spots him, she freezes completely solid. Pure terror takes over her whole body, shaking uncontrollably as the bag slips and crashes onto the pavement. The protagonist's dad, noticing her panicked reaction, flashes an absolutely wicked, twisted smirk. Well, talk about insane luck. Meanwhile, all the way across the city, inside a loud restaurant, our hero silently watches a massive group strut right through the doors. Every single one of them is rocking the exact same uniform, a massive, flashy emblem stamped right on their chests. Right after that, the dude wearing the green shirt leans in and completely fanboys, whispering, "Yo, look at that. It is the Divine Guild, Alexis. If you actually manage to get accepted into the Weapons Academy, you could literally be rolling with them. You might even become one of their top-tier commanders." Seriously though, who would have thought this hangout would be our absolute last time chilling together? But Alexis instantly cuts him off, his voice practically radiating pure determination. "And who exactly decided that I am getting into that academy too, no matter what it takes?" Our main guy just keeps staring intensely at the guild, totally lost in his own thoughts, replaying how incredibly basic and normal his day had been up until this very second. Right then, the dude with the glasses completely shatters the tension. "Yo, drop the heavy stuff. Today is literally Alexis's birthday." Another buddy instantly hypes him up. Facts today is all about celebrating and just having a massively good time. Even so, our hero just cannot shake the creepy chill running down his spine. I have no idea why, but my gut is totally screaming that something terrible is about to happen. Pushing the bad vibes aside, the whole crew raises their glasses to the ceiling and screams out a massive, "Happy birthday." Suddenly the camera cuts right back to the apartment building. Our hero's mom is still completely frozen, absolutely trapped in pure shock. She is violently shaking as she desperately clutches a necklace tight in her hands. Standing right in front of her, Jo Sejin glares down with pure disgust before finally opening his mouth. "You miserable wretch, living it up all cozy and safe away from me, huh? Did you actually forget where you belong?" He starts taking slow, menacing steps forward. The pure terror completely wrecks her balance, sending her crashing hard against the concrete. Jo Sejin does not even pause. He just keeps closing, in his voice dripping with venomous threats. "You have been seeing other men behind my back, you absolute trash. Today, I am going to make damn sure you perfectly remember exactly who I am." The absolute scumbag does not hesitate for even a split second. He violently winds up and throws a brutal hook straight at Alexis's mom. Purely on instinct, she throws her hands up, desperately trying to shield her face. But literally milliseconds before the massive impact, the entire vibe shifts. The bracelets locked around her wrists suddenly ignite with a blinding glow. Surging energy aggressively bursts out, taking physical shape in a matter of seconds. This intense aura instantly morphs into a terrifying monster that violently snatches Jo Sejin's wrist mid-air, commanding him to stop. The scumbag freezes completely solid, utterly mind-blown by the crazy summon. But that utter shock turns straight into nightmare fuel when he realizes it is not just one beast. These are the twin demonic plant monsters, the exact same savage creatures he personally defeated. Both guardians plant themselves right in front of our boy's mom, declaring in perfect sync, "Do not sweat it, ma'am. We swore on our actual lives to keep you safe." She slowly drops her gaze to her wrist, flashing back to her sweet son, handing her that exact bracelet, begging her to never take it off whenever he is not around. A split second later, one of the beasts lunges forward, throwing a massive haymaker at the dad. He manages to tank the first hit, but he is completely caught off guard. The monster shows zero mercy, landing a brutal second strike dead in his chest that sends him stumbling back. Jose grabs his chest where the blow landed. A dark stream of blood drips from his mouth, but instead of backing down, a twisted, unhinged smirk creeps across his face. Now we are talking. Let me vent some of this pent-up rage, he spits, locking a deadly glare on both beasts. The camera aggressively cuts. We are suddenly back at the diner, where Alexis is just chilling with his crew. But mid-sentence, his senses flare up. His eyes lock onto the glowing pendant around his neck. Out of nowhere, he shoots up from his seat. Yo, some crazy stuff just came up. I gotta bounce right now. Catch you guys later. His boys are left totally stunned. Glasses breaks the awkward silence, mind blown, joking about how he could have possibly digested all that grub so fast. Seconds later, Alexis is already out on the street, practically gripping his phone to death. Arturo, what is the intel on that favor I asked for? He demands, skipping the small talk. Over the line, Arturito spills the tea. That psycho Jose Jin actually got out of lockup early today. He crashed my old man's party, but got dragged out by security. After he left the venue, he literally vanished off the grid. The line goes dead, wasting zero time. Our main guy frantically video calls his mom, but it just keeps ringing. His brow furrows in pure panic. Maybe she just left her phone somewhere. Or maybe things are going horribly wrong. Then, a terrifying realization smacks him right in the face. The venue where Arturo's dad hosted the party is way too close to the house he is renting. If Jose marched in that direction and actually bumps into his mom, it is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Without a second thought, Alexis snaps into action, launching himself onto his bike and pedaling like an absolute madman. As the wind whips past him, a chilling thought creeps into his head. I mean, yeah, I left the twins and Ming to guard my mom, but their power levels are way too weak. They will not survive a head-on clash. And right on cue, Jose emerges from the dust, having totally flattened one of the beasts. Brushing off his shoulder, he scoffs. I genuinely thought you would pack a bigger punch than that. Meanwhile, the second monster forces himself back up. He throws his massive body in front of the MC's mom, barking at her to stay behind him. Jose just watches, flashing a sickening grin. But right at that very second, the first monster, still clinging to life, grips Jose's ankle and snarls. You are not going anywhere. The MC's twisted father whips out his combat knife, rolling his eyes like it is a massive chore, and sighs. Okay, you are actually getting on my nerves now. He snatches the creature by the throat, raises the blade and starts stabbing like an absolute maniac. Over and over, the poor mom is completely frozen, watching the horror unfold. Once this total creep is done turning the monster into minced meat, he locks his dead eyes right on her and sneers. Now it is your turn, dead meat. He takes slow, agonizing steps toward his next victim. The surviving monster freezes in pure shock for a split second, before his survival instincts kick in. He charges forward, screaming at the top of his lungs. Run, ma'am! Do not look back! For a heart-stopping moment, she completely freezes her brain, short-circuiting. But survival mode activates, and she spins on her heels, sprinting for her life. Desperate to buy her some time, the beast goes all out with his abilities. His massive arms stretch out, wrapping around Jose's entire body, trapping him in a suffocating bear hug. But the psycho does not even flinch. With an insane burst of raw power, he rips himself out of the hold like it was absolutely nothing. He aggressively swats those arms away, locking his grip around the monster's throat and completely crushing it with his bare hands without a second thought. Then, wasting absolutely zero time, he launches himself forward, landing dead center right in front of the protagonist's mother. He heavily glares at her, flashing a chilling smirk as he whispers, trying to climb up. Do you honestly think you can just slip away? Where exactly do you think you're going? She absolutely freezes in her tracks, totally deer in the headlights. In that split second, the creep violently snatches her necklace, spitting out with pure venom. This little charm belongs to that absolute punk too, doesn't it? All right then, you piece of trash. Without missing a beat, he entirely crushes the pendant in his fist and hoists the blade back up, fully prepped to deliver the fatal strike. But just before the gruesome climax, a vivid memory flashes right through her mind. That specific time he promised her that if she was ever in real danger, she just needed to shatter that charm, because the exact second it broke into tiny pieces, he would instantly spawn right by her side. And then, the absolute magic happens. At the exact millisecond, Jose aggressively swings the knife down. A single hand violently blocks the strike. The hero has officially entered the chat. His mom stares at him, absolutely shell-shocked. Jose, on the other hand, cannot hide his completely dumbfounded expression. And that is exactly when our guy drops the coldest line, declaring the final verdict. This is exactly where your story ends. We suddenly get a brutal flashback to the protagonist's past life. He is sitting on the cold floor, heavily chained up, crying non-stop. "Stop it. Please do not hurt her." Right in front of him, his so-called dad raises a heavy club, mercilessly striking his mom as she lies completely defenseless on the ground. Through toxic insults, he bitterly spits out, "I am grinding my gears to the absolute bone for cash, while you two live your little happy lives feeding off me," and acting like everything is just all sunshine and rainbows. The main character desperately begs again, this time his voice completely cracking through heavy sobs, pleading for him to just drop it. But his dad completely tunes him out, and the brutal hits just keep raining down without a single pause. Another flashback deeply reveals the dark origin of that exact day. It was the protagonist's very first weekend, barely navigating his way through grade 1. And his mom had taken him to the amusement park for the entire day, completely forgetting to text Jose. Meanwhile, the guy had spent hours desperately hunting for a job, with zero luck. Coming back completely frustrated and consumed by pure rage, he unleashed all his toxic baggage onto them. That day, the absolute demon inside him broke entirely loose, relentlessly striking the protagonist's mother until she tragically lost her life. Right after that horrific scene, the kid wildly manages to snap the heavy steel chains and desperately sprints toward her. Without a second thought, he wraps his arms around her in an absolute panic. But it is way too late. He was the sole witness to that horrific tragedy. Triggered by that insane trauma, something deep inside his core completely snaps, sparking his second awakening. His power level instantly skyrockets from an ordinary core knight straight to a platinum core. In that split second, he totally loses his mind. Jose hoists the club again, this time aiming right at him. But the hero violently reacts, gripping the heavy chain. He vigorously coils it right around the monster's neck, entirely shutting down his life. Even then, there is zero peace. Absolutely none of that revenge will ever bring his mom back. The scene sharply transitions, fast forward to the present. Alexis is standing dead center in front of Jose, tightly gripping a blade. His voice is totally unshaken, heavily loaded with an ice-cold determination. This time, I am not showing up late. He aggressively squeezes the weapon until it entirely shatters into pieces. The creep stares at the leftover shards, absolutely stunned, then flashes a cocky smirk. I was seriously wondering who the blind idiot was that could not even recognize his own opponent, but it turns out to be you. With the mother and son finally reunited, he decides to completely wipe them both out in one massive strike. Without hesitating, he hoists the broken blade and violently lunges forward. But in that exact microsecond, our guy reacts, unsheathing his dagger and pulling off a flawless parry, delivering an absolutely devastating blow right against his toxic father. The heavy impact sends him stumbling backward, coughing up a mouthful of blood. Still, he aggressively forces himself back up. He violently wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and glaring daggers at him, he growls, "That is my Congo dagger. So you're the little rat who swiped it." Right then, the twin monsters slide back into the scene, pulling up right next to the hero's mom. Wasting absolutely zero time, he aggressively barks an order. "Booming brothers, your one mission is to guard my mom and evacuate her to a totally safe zone far away from this mess." Jose suddenly lets out this insanely obnoxious laugh before those freaky monsters are actually your summoned beasts. Turns out you are one of those ultra-rare weirdos with dual elements core element brawler who also moonlights as a plant summoner. It is genuinely mind-blowing that at such a young age, you managed to successfully awaken two distinct classes at the exact same time. Not gonna lie, that is genuinely, but then again, maybe not that shocking considering you are the literal son of the great Jose. He takes a quick pause, and his entire facial expression turns absolutely dead serious. Just inheriting my raw talent isn't going to cut it, kid. You completely ghosted us, and then you had the nerve to raid my personal stash behind my back. And the absolute cherry on top, you actually locked your own blood behind bars. Every single stunt you pulled is completely unforgivable. I see your true colors now. You think you're a big shot now. Just because you snagged 2 distinct classes, you suddenly have the guts to challenge your own flesh and blood. Right on cue, Jose's killer intent explodes into a suffocating pressure as he lunges forward, off to the side. Alexis's mom frantically waves at him to watch his back, even while the summoned beasts gently restrain her to keep her completely out of the crossfire. The camera pans, as our boy smoothly swaps classes, shifting straight into his cloud mage form. The old man completely freezes, utterly stunned, watching. Solid ice violently rip across the floor, flash freezing everything in his path. Completely bewildered, Jose stammers, "What the hell is this? Where is all this frost coming from? How is this even physically possible?" Not giving him a single breathing second, Alexis closes the gap and spits back absolutely ice cold. "2 classes, you said. Try again, old man. My maximum awakenings are absolutely none of your damn business. But as for you, right here, right now, you are literally nothing to me." Jose's ego completely shatters, and he instantly snaps, screaming pure venom. "What did you just mouth off to me? I threw you a couple of scraps of praise, and suddenly your head inflates. You think you're a god, when you literally just popped your awakening. Meanwhile, I was out here surviving brutal C-rank war zones. Looks like you desperately need a reminder of who actually runs this household." Jose flexes every muscle in his body, violently shattering the glacial prison holding him down. But Alexis is already airborne, diving in blade first. Staring down that lethal momentum, the deadbeat dad barely deflects the initial strike. But the immediate follow-up hits like a runaway freight train, completely shredding his guard and slicing deep into his chest. Jose's mind goes totally blank. He is short-circuiting. That tiny blade shredded through my absolute defense. There is zero way. He stumbles violently backward, desperately clinging to his weapon, before totally collapsing onto the dirt. Clutching his bleeding torso, he chokes out, "How did you pull that off? You literally just awakened." Like what a few days ago, a bottom-tier E-rank rookie shouldn't physically possess this kind of insane raw damage. The tension spikes to 1,000,000 as our protagonist stands dead in front of him, an absolute monolith of zero hesitation. Starting right now, the father-son tie is officially severed. And as for my mom, you are never stepping 10 feet near her again. From this exact second forward, you are completely dead to me. A suffocating silence swallows the room for a split second, right before this psycho completely bursts into hysterical laughter. But that manic chuckle instantly morphs into pure unhinged rage, as his entire frame starts convulsing with fury. Do you have any idea who broke his back grinding out there in the real world? Who literally bled, just to put food on the damn table for you and your pathetic mother. Even if it was just for one single day, you carry my blood, and you can never scrub that stain away as long as you breathe. But look at you now, turning into a totally ungrateful backstabber, a complete snake. You little piece of trash. With zero warning, Jose lunges forward to strangle him, but Alexis reads him like an open book, springing into the air to deliver a bone-shattering roundhouse straight to the old man's jaw. The so-called father eats the floor, ragdolling across the pavement. He barely opens his swollen eyes, only to see his son charging him down like a predator. He scrambles to his feet, desperately trying to launch a counter. But the speed gap is totally insane. Alexis casually weaves past his pathetic swing and retaliates with a devastating straight punch right on the nose. Crack. The brutal impact echoes out. Jose gets his lights dimmed as our boy goes totally goblin mode, raining down a savage barrage of fists. A merciless beatdown with absolutely zero breathing room. Through the blinding agony, one agonizing thought loops in his head. He is a freaking C-rank red-class combatant. How is this absolute humiliation actually happening right in front of his face? Cutting back to the slaughter, Alexis slowly walks over, grips a fistful of his hair, and forces the broken man to look him dead in the eyes. His voice drops to a chilling, absolute zero tone. "Are you deaf? Didn't you hear a single word I just said? You literally stand 0% chance against me." And then, he drops the absolute truth nuke. For an entire decade, this pathetic excuse for a man did nothing but violently flex his power inside these four walls, purely because he was too much of a spineless coward to actually stand up to anyone stronger out in the real world. To Alexis, he's just an insecure bully, a complete waste of oxygen, someone who is totally worthless, a guy who doesn't even deserve the title of a grown man. To cap it off, our boy yanks him by the scalp and ruthlessly slams his face straight into the concrete. The sickening thud echoes through the entire room, while his mom just stands there completely frozen, totally mind-blown by the whole bloodbath. Right then, a completely broken Jose frantically begs for his life. "Wait, Alexis, please just hold on. I'm still the one who brought you into this world. Shouldn't family blood actually mean something to you? That unite us?" He viciously yanks the old man's head back, spitting pure venom right in his face. "Blood ties. Did you give a damn about those when you were beating us black and blue?" Without letting him breathe, a tidal wave of messed up memories comes crashing down. "When I was 7 years old, you grabbed me by the ears and repeatedly slammed my head into the wall. Over and over, I literally begged you to let go. But no matter how hard I bawled or pleaded for mercy, you never stopped, not even when my ear physically tore open. And we are just getting started. Tell me, how many times did you attack my mom since the day I was born? She ended up in the hospital every single month. Dinner was not perfect. You lashed out. She dared to disagree. You struck her. Came home from the streets having a bad day. You took it out on her. Since you stepped foot in our lives, we have not had one single day of peace." He pauses, glaring down at him with absolute pure disgust. "And now you have the nerve to bring up family. Do you honestly think a monster like you is worthy of begging for compassion?" Without waiting for an answer, he brutally slams the guy's head into the floor again. He tosses him aside and stands tall, cold and dominant. The pathetic father slowly drags himself up, violently shaking, his voice completely shattered. "I am so sorry. I realize I messed up. I swear I will not do it again. I am so genuinely sorry. I was completely wrong. I will never do those things again. It was entirely my fault." But Alexis does not even blink. "You spouted the exact same garbage last time. The second you realized I was not the enemy, you broke down crying, begging for forgiveness. But right when I actually started to believe you had changed, you lunged at me with a knife." He locks eyes with him without a single ounce of hesitation left in his soul. And whoever raises a weapon to kill once never truly puts it down. In a split second, the aura completely shifts. Pure adrenaline spikes through his veins, his senses dialed to the max. And without missing a beat, he triggers his pure domain. In one fluid motion, he draws his dagger and delivers the ultimate, final judgment.